We were watching that X-Men episode last night where they went to Scotland, and there were also immediately just bagpipe music that starts as soon as they get off the plane, because that's just what Scotland is like in 90s cartoons. There's just constant bagpipe music.
Yes.
And then we were saying that Macbeth and Magneto are very similar to each other.
They look very similar to each other.
They look similar.
And then we were noticing more similarities between Macbeth and Magneto.
And how we want them to kiss each other. And or switch outfits.
If they kiss, the beard will be complete.
So welcome everyone to the Loincloth Hour.
Welcome.
Where we just redo our conversations so that you can know what we were talking about before we started recording.
Yeah.
This is an episode we've been looking forward to doing since the show started. Because we love this episode.
It's a very, very fan-favorite episode and cherished episode in the Gargoyles canon.
For good reason.
Yes. I mean, I think I slated the prep time starting from, Friday afternoon. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be kind of a big one. And I was, super nervous. So I'm almost getting into it because I'm like, oh, man, this is the freaking mirror. This is...
The mirror.
This is the episode where things happen.
Things do have I feel like this is the first ep that really focuses a lot on the magic and the fantasy parts of the show. We've seen magic before, but I feel like this is the first episode that's really
magical,
goes into that. Yes, and I really fucking love it.
It's a great episode.
Some of the strongest episodes of the show follow from what happens here.
Yes.
So, this is also a massive shipping episode.
It is.
Which I think is another reason the fans really like it. Because, there's a lot of, the love triangle is, in full effect in this episode. And I love every fucking bit of it. Because it's so angsty. And,
it really is.
It's so fucking good.
Speaking of the future... can probably kick off with the previously on, which I'd like to discuss.
Yeah, okay, previously on Gargoyles. What happened last time?
Well, according to the previously on segment, Demona shoots Goliath, Demona shoots Hudson, Demona shoots Brooklyn, Demona shoots Lisa, and then she grabs a bunch of pages out of a book, and flies away.
And just flies away screaming.
Screaming.
It was 30 seconds just Demona being a badass and hurting people. That's what the show's been about previously,
Demona
according to this
that
segment.
Bitch.
Yeah, she is that bitch all the time.
Yeah, the clips this time were from Awakening Part 5, Long Way to Morning, and Temptation.
I remember, I think my favorite instance of Demona shooting someone, other than using her bazooka, is when she crashed through Elisa's window and shot her with that poison dart, and I was like, "Ciao," and just fucking left. It was beautiful.
Oh my god, it's very. I have no comment.
So I guess a viewer watching this episode would probably figure that Demona might feature heavily in it. And they would be right.
They would be. She's definitely a strong factor in the things that happen in this episode.
The things.
We literally start off...
By the way, who are we, and what is this show about? Welcome to the Loincloth Hour, a podcast where we talk about gargoyles mostly, and how they're all hot. And we are your hosts. I am Manicorn, a.k.a. Croup, a.k.a. my other names, and we're... Sid, who are you?
I'm Sid. I'm a cat who likes cat things and gargoyles, and I like to eat cheese sometimes, but that has nothing to do with the podcast.
Mice eat cheese.
Listen,
cats eat cheese.
I'm not like other girls.
Okay, and we're joined by our... Now, you're no longer a guest host. You're now a recurring host.
I mean, at this point, I'd hope so.
Yes.
How many episodes have I been in?
This is what, your fourth?
He's become very integral to the Loincloth Hour.
I don't know. But your name is Huron, so the viewers know who you are.
Yes, I am Huron.
Hello, Huron.
That's me.
Okay. I feel like we have to redo that entire segment, but we're not going to, because we never do. We're just going to keep going.
It's our
It's okay.
podcast,
Everyone's
we do
heard the
what we
segment
want.
how many times at this point?
Yeah, like, everyone knows how awkward we are by
You know
now,
who the
but, like,
fuck we are. You
I
know what
hope
you're
so.
listening to. We
But
don't
yeah,
have
it's
to.
like-
We don't. You don't owe you an introduction.
It's like, Marvel Comics, they used to have that saying they would give all the creators, like, every comic is somebody's first, so you want to be sure to somehow introduce the characters, like, every single issue. They don't do that anymore. I guess we don't need to either.
It's fine. They'll figure it
Okay.
out.
But, The Mirror, the episode that is always at the top of the fans' favorite episode lists.
Yeah.
So, okay. I guess we're just gonna dive in. I'm gonna cover what happens. You two can chime in.
Yeah, I took mental notes.
Mental notes. Perfect.
Yeah, that's
And-
pretty much what I do.
Yes, because you have a photographic memory almost. It's
I
like
kind
a-
of do.
Your
Yeah.
mind.
Like, I remember really specific things for some odd reason.
Like, you remember every instance we see Broadway's ass in this episode, probably.
I do. Oh my
'Cause
gosh.
It's sort of a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, this is peak Broadway nudity right here.
Like, I forgot how much we saw of everybody in this episode.
Because they're all wearing just loincloth.
Yeah,
That's
but, like-
what they're always wearing, but now they're
But
human.
it seems like we see more of them.
Well, because there's no tails to get in the way.
There's no
There's no
tails.
wings.
There's no wings. We can see their bare buckies.
They're bare essentials.
Yeah.
So, okay, the episode starts with the title card over the Metropolitan Museum of Art. There's some sort of exhibit banner that I had to, zoom way the fuck in to read what it said. I think it says Metropolitan Exhibits Titania's Treasures, is I believe what it says.
That would make sense.
I have
Yes.
no idea.
Which, so last episode they had the Scrolls of Merlin. Now we have Titania's Treasures. Museum is doing good business in this string of episodes.
Well, I mean, the Met is, I think, generally speaking, the 6th most visited museum in the world.
Yes, it's fucking. We should go there sometime.
I have a
It's really fucking
headcanon
awesome.
where the Night at the Museum movies are canon with the Gargoyles universe.
Is that one also at the Met? Are those movies there?
I don't know. I just know that I love the Night at the Museum movies, and I just felt like talking
Okay,
about that.
imagine if when Demona breaks into the museum, she's like, the Night at the Museum people are there. I don't. Who the fuck is? There's a cowboy. There's a
Ben
knight. I don't know the
Stiller,
characters in the. I've never
And
seen these
the
movies.
Oh
the
my
little
God.
action figures. Everything in the museum comes alive at night.
Yeah, when I think of Night at the Museum, I think of Toy Story, and I think it's because don't they share actors? Isn't Woody in Night at the Museum?
Tom
too, or
Hanks is
something?
not in Night at the Museum. No.
No.
Anyway,
The only thing they have in common is that they both have a cowboy.
okay. Well, I guess one cowboy is the same as another to me.
One of them's Owen Wilson.
I don't know who that is.
He's a man.
Moving on.
But I know who Demona is, and we see her. She has a pair of binoculars, which is just like that Mary Worth character who we've been loving this week. But she's looking through them, and she sees some guard come to the front door, and he flips the open sign over to the closed side, and she's like, "Oh, time to make my move."
They're closed. Which
yeah, they're
means
closed
My
now.
field's open now.
Uh-huh. So inside we see two guards, there's a man and a woman, and the guy in a very obviously Ed Asner voice is saying to the lady, he's like, "Okay, front door's locked, all the laser grids are on, you go on inside. And don't get too close to the displays." He bites that last part out at her. So I already have questions. I'm just gonna ask you guys. We know that the lady guard here is Elisa
Yep.
undercover.
Yep.
Her
Yeah.
hair is done up, she's wearing Clark Kent glasses. Does the other guard who's talking to her know this?
Almost
Why is he
certainly.
being mean to her? Did you feel like he was being mean to her in that
I
line?
was always under the impression he's another undercover police officer
I get
and just keeping in character.
But no one else is there!
I got the
But they don't know if they're
impression
being watched.
that he was just a genuine, like, just night guard, and this is just, like, some new recruit that they told him that they were bringing in, and so he's
See, like,
just
that's
being bossy.
that's what I
with her.
thought too. Because that would make it make sense. It's just
Yeah.
he thinks that she's like a new person on the job who like doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, like don't put fucking fingerprints on these priceless artifacts that we have. I don't know. Whatever.
That just makes me want to touch things. Let's say that.
I know. I feel like Elisa also wanted to touch things. Okay, so we see her go into this display room, which has a tall, very magical-looking mirror in it, and she goes up to the mirror, and then like she starts posing in front of it,
Yes.
and like I don't know why she does that.
I know. I have always had an assumption as to why.
Well, tell us.
So the reason she's posing in front of it is because A, she thinks someone's going to come and try and steal it, so she wants to look like she's not paying attention. But B, by posing in front of the mirror, she gets a 360 view of the room,
She does.
where she can look in the mirror and see behind her and also look around.
So she's like, if someone's watching her, she's like, oh, I'm just like a ditzy guard checking myself out and being all sexy. But really, she's keeping an eye on everyone else.
Which both helps trick the viewer, who doesn't know it's Elisa yet, but also on a rewatch makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
an interesting tactic. I always figured it was just like Elisa, just like internally, just like, ugh, I hate this like disguise outfit. I look like such a dork. But that's what
A bit of that, too.
that's what I would do. But what you say and knowing how tactical Elisa is, that makes sense. So
She
maybe
is
it's
very
all.
tactical.
Maybe it's all of those.
Okay, well, so far you've answered both my questions. We'll see how many more of my questions you will answer as the summary goes on.
Yeah.
So suddenly there's like a gargoyle snarl from close by, and we see Elisa turn around towards the sound, but her reflection in the mirror does not move. And it's not an animation error, it's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Because it shows that the mirror is like, it's a fucking magical mirror, everyone. It's
Oh.
magical, and like, I don't know, it's like, ooh.
Oh.
So we see that jerk male guard from before, we see him get thrown into a shrubbery, he's knocked out. And then, like,
shrubbery.
a shrubbery!
Shrubbery!
Yes. Elisa, she doesn't go towards she doesn't go towards that other guard. She runs in the other direction and hides. And then an instant later we see Demona appear, like a boss, like she always does. She goes up to the mirror. She like knocks aside like the museum like fence thingies like contemptuously, like she always does. Then Elisa shows up behind her with a flashlight, and she's like, "Hold it right there." So I don't know why she hid before doing this, but I think we're gonna find out in a second, because Demona has this beautiful line. She said, "You, most useless member of a craven, puny race, you think you can stop me?"
She's roasting the shit out of her.
Like, I don't know if Demona practices these lines, like, before. Like, I think they're just, like, in her, and they're just, like, they're aching to get out, like, anytime she does anything. So then, like...
She's edgy.
But then we hear another voice, and it's Goliath, and he says, "Possibly not, but I can." So I think Elisa ran away, because, like, Goliath was there, and now, like, the two of them, they're gonna double team Demona. Because, like, they split up, they surround her, like, Demona's trapped, but then Demona, like, she grabs one of the other display pieces, and she just, like, chucks it at Elisa. Goliath has to catch it, because he cares about art preservation all of a sudden, but it gives Demona time to get away. She went to the next room, where she, like, does it again. She keeps knocking shit over, like, every room she goes into, and Goliath has to keep catching it.
So chaotic.
I know, like, she has so much energy. And then, like, she, like, breaks a display case, she takes a spear out from it, and, like, I've missed Demona so much. Like, every episode she hasn't been in, I've been waiting for her to just, like, pull this sort of shit. So, like, it looks like she's cornered again, then she bashes through a window, she runs out, Goliath chases after her, then Elisa chases after her, everyone's chasing her, but as that happens, we go back to the mirror room, and we see a rope snake down from the ceiling, and then two goons drop down. Demona has goons now. Um, and question for you guys,
Yes.
that we can come back to this in a little bit too, but these two men, one, are they hot? And two, are they gay with each other? What do
Okay,
you think?
well, obviously they're wearing like full body suits and everything, like cat burglars, but they're obviously not cut out for the cat burglary kind of stuff. But they managed to. I don't know. I do think just those elements alone makes them hot to me.
I just think goons in general are always kind of
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know what it
henchmen,
is.
I don't know. Yeah,
I-
there's something about them.
I have a hankering for henchmen, a henchering, if you would.
a henchering.
But
But,
you know, their outfits are definitely stealable, I'd say.
Like, so you'd like, okay, so what you would do with them is like knock them out and steal their clothes, like leave
Listen.
them tied up in a closet in their underwear, like
Listen.
always happens in movies and TV
Yeah,
shows.
yeah. It's like a weird kink implement that a lot of action movies and shows do, and it's just like, it's a very fixative thing for a lot of queer audiences. So I mean, I'm just saying that the realm of possibility is out there.
What if you stole their uniforms and tied them up, but you also stole their underwear?
Well, I would just add that to my collection.
Is that groundbreaking to do that as well?
I mean, maybe their underwear will give me a sense of like, blending in.
Yeah. Okay. What if like their underwear is like labeled, like the brand label is also from this evil organization that they're
And,
in?
and
Like, what
if
if
you're
Demona
not you're
prints
not
them out
wearing their underwear, they're
specialized
gonna find you
underwear?
out. They are going to find you if they're
Yeah.
they're like, take them off. We need to make sure you're 100% like with us. And it's like, it's okay. I'm wearing the evil Demona Lair brand underwear that we've been printing for decades.
Yes. It just has a big like D
They're like,
printed
oh,
on the
okay.
bulge.
Yeah. And they're
Like, because we know that Demona has like she does have so much money. And it's been around for thousands of years, so like maybe she does have like her own line of underwear products.
Why the fuck not?
Don't we know that she canonically has a clothing line? Isn't that like something
Yes,
that gets
with-
brought up later
with
on?
what is Dominique Destine or whatever the fuck her name is? Yeah.
I love it. That's a great. That's a clothing line kind of name. That's perfect.
It is. It's beautiful. I love how her human name, it also has Dom in it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's just Demona by heart.
Yeah, so okay, but so these two goons, they start like patching up the mirror. Meanwhile, back outside, Demona's leading our two heroes on a merry chase through Central Park, and they get to like this fucking obelisk looking thing that I had to look up. This is a real thing. It's Cleopatra's Needle, which in real life has nothing to do with Cleopatra. But it is an ancient Egyptian obelisk that was given to us by Egypt in the 1800s. And it is erected right outside the Met. So, like, once again, the show is very accurate with its New York imagery. So, good for them. Goliath and Elisa, they're a power team here. They get close to Demona again, but Demona, like, throws her spear at Elisa. Goliath has to push her out of the way. And then Demona, like, climbs up Cleopatra's Needle. Definitely damaging it, but she, like, unlike Goliath, she doesn't care about damaging ancient artifacts. And then she takes off screaming into the sky, like she always fucking does.
Yeah.
And Goliath, he's gonna fly after her, but Lisa's like, whoa, hold up. It's not like we can actually arrest her, so let's, like, just let her go. To which I was like, I don't know if Goliath intended to arrest her so much as, like, kill her, but okay, Elisa, sure.
Look, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I listen.
I never know what they're trying to do with these villains that they're after.
They chased her off. I guess that's the point Elisa was trying to get, is that she didn't get the mirror.
Exactly. And, like, Goliath, like, huffs and sighs and is like, well, yeah, she didn't get the mirror at least. By the way, Elisa let her hair down at this part, and, like,
so well.
this is a look now. Because, like,
Yeah.
she's wearing these glasses. She looks even more, like, dommy than she usually does.
She's like sexy librarian school teacher now.
She is, like, sexy librarian dominatrix.
Okay, but can we just talk about how well animated her letting down her hair was?
It was so fluid and good. Like this whole episode, this isn't even A-team animation. This is like their S-team. Like this might be their most well animated episode.
Yeah, we've had quite a few.
I can't think of any that actually look better than this one does.
I mean, Leader of the Pack looked really good, but this is very magical.
Yes. Imagine if Wolf was in this episode too, just as ripping shit
God,
off again. For a second time.
I need that in my life. I need all the shirt ripping wolves in the Gargoyles episodes.
Yes. So okay, after this, there's a quick scene. I'm just gonna try to cover it really quick. We see the two goons pull up to a house. They drive over there, and then. All we would have to know, this is Damona's house that she owns, and she's basically rigged up a system where, she can make dealings with people without them seeing her, or, actually interacting.
What I love about this is it now shows that, like Macbeth, Damona also pays her taxes.
Yes! Okay, so does she use the name Dominique Destine?
Is this why she wants to kill... Another factor why she wants to kill all the humans? Because she hates having to pay the taxes every year, and
she definitely does. Can you imagine her filling out tax forms?
Oh my god.
And just, cursing and, scowling and being like, I'll make them pay for this! And oh my god.
Yeah, we got that tax form 1099 back from that Dominique lady, and it just says on the paper, scribbled in red letters, kill all humans over and over. I'm not sure if we file a complaint or we ask for a copy, but I mean, what do you say, boss?
Okay.
I'm just saying theoretically.
But you talk about the system without discussing the aesthetic of it.
Oh, I haven't even started on, the system. Okay, first of all, the two goons have to give a password at, the date, and the password is Oberon sent me. Which is, just another reference of fairy stuff in this episode. Although, I don't think that the actual Oberon in Gargoyles has anything to do with this. I'm not laying that out.
No,
but they are aware of, his existence, so that's what they do.
And then, okay, do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
She has... Okay.
So let's just start with this. So you walk up to the steps, and she's got stone steps leading up to the house.
It's beautiful.
But on either side are these giant, beautifully sculpted gargoyle statues.
It's she's just, daring people to figure out who she is.
I wonder if they'll ever get it.
You get up into the doorway, and on the door, there's, you know how in Christmas Carol, there's always that giant sculpted
the
door knocker
thing? Yeah.
There's one of those, except that instead of a knocker, it just has a full mouth sculpted, and it's another gargoyle.
Yes.
And the way she's transmitting messages to them is that an envelope comes shooting down and comes out of the gargoyle's mouth at them.
So they have to reach into the mouth to get it.
Yeah.
And okay, so after that happens,
they have to orally fist the gargoyle knocker. Yes,
but she's also talking to them through some sort of PA system or something, and she has She has so many good lines this episode, but she just says, "Take your money and go while you still can." Which is Damona, you don't need these people are working for you. You don't need to.
She hates humans.
Yeah, she's genocidal, that's just how she be.
I fucking love it so much. Okay, but that scene's over. We don't see her goons again in this episode. I don't know if we ever see them again or not. I don't remember
all we
them.
have
Well,
to
one
know
of the goons specifically said that was the only time he'd ever worked for her. So...
No, he said he worked for her before.
No. So that was the other one. One of them was oh, what do we do here? Because I've never done this before. And the other guy's oh, I've done this before. You just wait. So, she's only even hired one of them before.
Right. So I don't know what happens to these two after this episode. I hope that they have a happy future together. I hope they find love in each other's arms. Probably. We'll see. But, okay, so that seems over. Now we proceed into what looks like Damona's inner sanctum, where the mirror is now wrapped in chains. And, there's so much cool stuff in here. Damona's sanctum is what I want our house to look like.
Yeah.
Just like weird occult shit everywhere, like
Oh.
statuary, pieces of art. There's like a bust of Baphomet, like in the back somewhere. It's like stuff that she's amassed over like 1,000 years.
I do have a bunch of cool stuff with that kind of aesthetic I could bring up when I move. I have like
You
little statues,
should.
and I have like a window drapery that's essentially a tarot card called the Star, and you get to see like the stars and the galaxy in it. I think it's somewhere in my
Cool.
bottom drawer, but I'll definitely be bringing that up as well.
Yeah, like you've got to at least have stuff like to decorate your own room, and we'll see
Yeah.
if we can incorporate some of it into the greater household.
Oh,
if
yeah,
we
yeah.
want
I
to,
plan on
'cause
bringing-
we always need cool stuff.
I'm planning on bringing my my posters as well, specifically my Mass Effect and Pink Floyd stuff. I'm sorry, we're
Oh my
doing the
God.
podcast right now. I'm talking about my own.
No, with the topic went to interior decoration.
Yeah, that's
of
true,
Demona,
okay.
and it led naturally.
It did,
Um,
you know, and I just think that, you know, she's a fashion icon.
She is, because she has her own clothing line.
She does.
Although she herself only dresses in like a loincloth bikini sort of thing,
Yeah.
which does look pretty badass. And
No,
she does
yeah,
have those
she
gold
looks cool.
circlets. Like
She's a queen.
sometimes more is less, or less is more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, she still shows skin off, but she's, like, also accessorizing.
She's got it going on, and she knows that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, she says something about, like, how all her plans have been thwarted up until now, but this time will be different because, like, tonight I take control. So, she performs this summoning spell with, like, using the mirror as, like, her conduit or something, which... So how the spell goes is she takes a golden ring and she strikes it against a silver bell 4 times. Which made me think of a time later in this show where a bell will also be used for a magical conflict later on.
Okay,
But that's for later.
but why is she using a ring to ring the bell? Why doesn't she just like shake it slightly? Why does she need to go grab a ring and just tap
Because
it against the side of the
certain
bell?
things have to be done in
Listen,
the correct
this
order
is
for the ritual.
fantasy we're dealing with, and if playing Elden Ring lately has taught me anything about fantasy, it involves a lot of bell ringing and rings. So I mean, hey,
Because it's an Elden ring.
yeah. Like,
But she... Sorry, were you...
no, I'm done.
Okay.
It's fine.
So after she rings the bell, then she blows a feather from her hand, which may or may not be an angel's feather. I don't know what feather this is. It enters the mirror, like, Utena style. And then she says a bunch of Latin shit, which I did look up the translation.
Oh my.
And I don't know if it really, like, this is like a direct translation, so it probably doesn't make any sense, but it says, when silver and gold fly down, Puck can penetrate Titania's mirror after.
He's
So,
gonna
like,
fuck that mirror.
no.
I'm
I
sorry.
think by penetrate it means pass through.
No, I know.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Although, I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Puck.
yeah.
No,
I feel like-
I mean, I was half joking. I mean, I feel like he would. He would totally fuck himself like a reflection.
Oh my god, he would. So there's this big flash of light, and then we see... Who wants to describe Puck to us? What does Puck look like?
He's a very, very elvish, you know, not really little man, but he's definitely twinkish. Definitely
He is
twinkish.
He's fey. He has like long white hair, including 2 like really long sideburn-looking things.
He dons this appearance of both ethereality and mischief. Like, he's got this like
Yes.
graceful essence, but he's also very, very like wild and chaotic. So he looks like a twink elf, pretty much.
He's very playful, but like
He
dangerously
is. I love
playful.
him. He's great.
And we love him, yes. But he is now on the floor in front of the mirror, and the chains that were around the mirror are now wrapped around him. And that scene's over. So then we're at the clock tower. Elisa's filling the dang in now on how they didn't actually save the mirror because while they were chasing Demona around, some other people went and stole it. But Elisa doesn't seem to give a shit. She's like, well, what can she do with a mirror? Like, who really cares? And Hudson's like, it's not just a mirror, lass. It's Titania's mirror. Titania, queen of the third race. And Elisa's like, the fuck are you talking about? And then, like, the whole trio is like, Broadway's like, you know, gargoyles, humans, and Oberon's children. And Lutz is like, I thought everybody knew this. And Brooke was like, yeah, that guy Shakespeare wrote a play about them. A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh my god.
So, like, it's just, this is such a beautiful info dump.
It really
And then
is.
Goliath says, Scotsmen call them the fair folk. The Vikings call them dark elves. They are changelings, shapeshifters, creatures of pure magic. And their possessions, like the mirror, are vessels of great power. So Elisa's like, are you for real right now? Like, and then Hudson's like, yeah, they're as real as I am, if the stories be true. But in the world of Gargoyles, as we know, like, all stories are true. So, like, yeah, the third race is definitely a thing. But this is their first introduction to them as a concept, and I love the third race. I love every time they show up.
Oh yeah, they're great.
They're so good. It should be noted they're called Oberon's children, but that's not, like, a literal thing. It's just, like, they're his children, as in, like, he rules over them.
Yeah.
Is what that means. Just some people do get confused about that.
They're basically demigods, but they can't really say demigod because it's Disney. Or maybe they can. I don't know. It was a different time period. Oberon's children is what they're called, though. And we know that much.
Yes. And then we go back to Demona's inner sanctum. There's a lot of, like, really short scenes in this episode because we keep bouncing back and forth between people. Mm-hmm. But so Puck is just complaining. Puck is voiced by Brent Spiner, by the way, who plays Data on Star Trek TNG.
Mm-hmm.
So this is yet another Star Trek reunion, and
Yep.
and he's beautiful. So he's just like, is this how you welcome all of your guests? And Demona says, any who might turn on me, and you're not a guest. You serve the human. Now you can serve me. And Puck says, serving humans is fun. They have a sense of humor. You have none. So, already Puck is, like, annoying because he keeps fucking rhyming. But another thing, okay. I feel like we should talk about this here, but, like, if you are listening to the show and you have not watched, like, close to the end of the second season, like, don't listen to this next part. Sid, if you could put, like, a timestamp in, like, edit yourself in, just when we stop talking about this, so people can skip over it.
I will do that.
Yeah.
My voice will be the guide.
Okay. So Demona says, you serve the human.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that she knows
Yes.
who Puck is?
Yes.
How does she know that?
Because she has been working with Xanatos for some time before they resurrected the Gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see Xanatos telling her this. Or does she help him?
It's I think, if I remember correctly, because there was a very long Ask Greg dump on this one.
Right.
If I remember correctly, she first met him in the 70s.
Wow.
Yes. Because we would have seen this during Time Dancer.
Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, I thought they had, like, only sort of more recently met.
No. This was just the end of a on and off partnership over the years.
Okay, so yeah, Xanatos would have been, like, probably, like, early 20s, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, she first met him when he was, like, just starting to make it big.
Interesting. Back when he first got that coin.
So, she was, apparently, according to Greg, around when, and he consulted her during the first incident with Puck.
Right.
Because she was an expert on the matter.
Okay.
So she's known from the beginning who Puck was.
See, that does make this scene even funnier, because, like, she knows who Puck is, but, like, she can't just go to him. Like, she has to have this whole fucking thing where she steals a mirror, does a magical ritual, like, calls him out of it. She can't just go and ask. Because Puck is very in character when he's not being himself.
Yeah.
So, like, that is really funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
Interesting.
But yeah, apparently, eventually, we were supposed to find out all the details on that.
I fucking wish that Time Dancer... I still want Time Dancer to get made. Like, just...
Yeah.
Like, just write out as prose if you have to, Greg. Like, I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as she's saying that... Oh, sorry, where was I? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so she replies to Puck saying, like, yes, I don't have a sense of humor. And then she, like, lifts him bodily, like, by the collar, just to be a dominant bitch. And she's like, but I do have you. So that scene's over. We go back to the clock tower again. Now the conversation just moved on to how awesome fairies are. Like, the trio are just like, wouldn't it be cool to be a shapeshifter? Because we won't have to hide. We can look like whoever we want to. We can make new friends. And then they're like, maybe even find love. And as they say that, Elisa and Goliath looked at each other. Did you catch that?
I did.
They're like, love. Ooh. So, like, everyone's horny this episode. But, like, Goliath and Elisa are especially horny.
There's a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah.
May I point out who said maybe even find love?
Broadway said
He
it.
said it's Broadway. Again, as always, he's ever the romantic.
I love him so much. Yeah, like, Brooklyn just wants to fuck, but Broadway wants love. Aw.
And then Lex is just ignoring those two.
And I don't know if anything else happens in that scene, because that's the end of my notes for that. Because then we just go back to Damona's place. Did anything else happen there?
No, literally,
that's
it jump cuts back. It's jump cutting back
We
and
do
forth
it
pretty
so
rapidly at
much in this
point.
episode. We just go back and forth
She
like
says
time.
maybe you find love. It jump cuts back because you can continue.
Yeah. So, okay, so Puck he's just like, alright, let's just get this over with then. Like, but like, as he's saying this, Puck is now hanging like sideways in the air. And throughout this entire scene, he's just flying around the room.
I love it.
Like, he zips over to her, like, when he's teasing her, and then, like, he zips away again when she, like, raises her fist. Like, he's, like, this is peak fairy for him, and he's also just, like, bored. Because, like, as a fae, like, he's a creature of, like, capriciousness and, like, fancy. So, like, I feel like being chained like he is right now is probably torture for him. So he's just trying to, like, flex, like, what freedom he does have as much as possible. And also, we've already talked about the animation, but, like, it's gorgeous in this scene. Like, I'm just gonna keep saying it. It looks so good. But he's like, okay, like, what do you want? I haven't got all night. And Demona says, you've got all millennium, if I choose. And then she goes on, and she says, like, she's too vulnerable during the day. She doesn't want to turn to stone anymore. And Puck's like, of course. You want to stroll down Fifth Avenue in the sunshine. I'm sure you'll fit right in. And she says, I could if there were no blasted humans. And then she gets this extremely devious look on her face. And she says, yes, Puck. I want to get rid of the humans. All of them. Which, like, okay, did she not plan out her wish before doing all this? Like, was her original wish just to not turn to stone anymore? But now she's like, she just thought of something better.
It's hard to say.
I don't fucking know.
I feel like she had a laundry list of wishes and just couldn't decide which one to go with first.
Probably.
Look,
but also, it seems like Puck has, like, an unlimited supply of wishes that he can just grant her in this episode.
All she said before all this happened was that she would be the one in control now. So maybe she's just, like, lashing out and desperate to find anything that'll benefit her interest. But it's like, really, she's just in a constant state of, like, just bitterness to the point where she doesn't really know what she wants, I think. She just knows that she's just filled with spite, with
like she knows that she's incredibly unhappy and full
Yeah.
of negative emotion, and she can't find a way to, like, deal with that.
I think that's really just a summarization of how her entire character is, because it's like she she tries to get revenge, quote unquote, with the gargoyles. She tries to get revenge, quote unquote, with the humans. She's just, kind of at the point where she's psychotic and lashing out because of all the negativity she's experienced and everything. That whole thing where it's like she's alone. It's like a really toxic form of depression she's exuding, I'd say.
Yeah. But, so Puck answers, does this look like Aladdin's lamp? Which, I'm just gonna put this out there, the Aladdin TV series has started, just a few months before the Gargoyles TV show, and was also on the Disney Afternoon. So, this works as just, a mythological gag he's making, but also he's, sort of poking fun at, their brother show on the air.
Yeah, the other shows that run alongside Gargoyles.
So then he asks what it is that she really wants. And he pokes the mirror, and it ripples like water, and we see an image of Goliath appear in it. By the way, looking super hot. Goliath looks really good in this episode. He always has really big muscles. His chest is perfect proportions.
I mean, he's a man, that's for sure.
He's a man. So Puck looks Goliath over and is also I would fuck him. And he says, how quaint. After all these centuries, you're still carrying a torch. Well, if that's what you want, I can make him love you again. Piece of cake, given your charming personality. But then we see Elisa also step into the frame. And, Demona freaks out because this is, the biggest shipping episode of all time.
I know.
And also, Elisa is, stroking Goliath's arm and, rubbing up against him.
She's rubbing her face on his broad, muscular shoulder. Like she would, with, a lavender pillow or something like that.
So, I have to ask, do we think that this is something that's actually happening, or is Puck conjuring up these images?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Puck conjuring this up, because I couldn't see Elisa just casually doing that at this current point in the show.
She is being very affectionate.
But I think what it is, it's a manifestation of what's actually at hand. Elisa, we do know, does have actual feelings for Goliath. And, this is a very, lustful image showing those kind of feelings, and that's driving Demona insane. So it could be Puck conjuring this image. It could be a manifestation of what's actually at hand with Goliath's love life. Who knows?
I don't know if it's real or not, and I like that I don't know, that it could be either one.
Yeah, that's
true. I
true.
like the ambiguity.
That's true.
Okay, but Demona also sees Elisa, and she says, that's what I want. If you cannot get rid of all the humans, at least rid me of that human, Elisa Maza. And then Puck...
It's literally just pure jealousy is all I was going to say.
She's so good. Okay, and guys... I have another question. Can you explain how Puck gets confused here? Or if he's, pretending to be confused? Because he says, did you say that human or that human? Oh, I'll figure it out.
Oh, come on. That's
he is
totally
not confused in the
intentional.
slightest. He is purposely misinterpreting everything she says because
But,
he doesn't
I don't even see how, what is he interpreting
so
or what she's saying to be?
Rid me of that human, with the emphasis on human, meaning make them no longer human.
I don't even see how we can get there from what she said.
No,
He wants to get there.
it's all about the phrasing. It's all about the phrasing. Did you say that human or that human? He's messing with her and he knows it.
Okay, this is why... See, I feel like if Demona knows about Puck, I don't know why she even fucking summoned him. Because she should have known he would pull this kind of shit on her.
Yeah.
Demona, I don't fucking know. Whatever. So then he recites...
Well, never mind. I was going to say, she might have reasons, and I'll leave it at that.
She might have reasons. So,
She might.
Puck, he breaks out one of his classic beat poetry sessions that he's going to do throughout this episode.
Yes!
He says,
I love his
Thy
style.
sight, Demona, doth offend, so Puck will hasten to amend. Be gone, Elisa, human born, and be no more as you were formed. And
Some
here's
mad
where,
Dr. Seuss rhyming right there.
very Shakespearean, very beautiful. And, like, here's where, like, the actual episode starts. So we're back at the clock tower again. They're talking about what the fuck ever. Then Elisa starts glowing bright green. She floats into the air. She's freaking out. The gargoyles are freaking out.
She turns into a disco ball for a second.
She like just flash of light, like so bright it like blares out the windows of the clock tower, and then Elisa's standing there looking completely ordinary. I guess the spell had no effect actually. So anyway, the gargoyle Elisa, she's sort of woozy, and the guys are like, "Whoa!" Goliath walks over to her. The first thing he does. He touches one of her wings. Like, he can't help it.
Yep.
Like, he's totally into her now.
The way his face, like, changes, like, he goes up to try to handle the situation, and then, like, the second he sees her, he just immediately dons these, like, weeaboo puppy eyes. They get, like, so, like, soft and, like, almost intimate in a weird... Like, the way... Seeing that expression on him, like, kind of threw me off guard.
It was so cute. And Greg Weisman has said that this is the episode where, like, Goliath realizes that he has feelings for Elisa, and I think this is the exact moment when it happens.
Actually,
he's gonna actually us.
Well, you were correct about this being the moment, but that wasn't exactly what Greg said.
Be the voice of Greg for us.
Yes. So, I have his actual quote here, which I will read out. I think that Goliath did not find Elisa sexually attractive until the mirror, which allowed him to see her through a gargoyle's eyes. There was always chemistry there, but it was based on her physical attraction to him and a strong emotional and spiritual connection between both of them. After the mirror, Goliath also maintained a physical attraction to Lisa. He's no longer blinded by her human characteristics.
Right, so they're both, like, demisexual for each other at this point.
Well, yeah,
Pretty
so,
much.
well, no, I mean, after this it says he maintained a physical attraction, even after she's turned back.
Yes. Because he's just turned on by Elisa herself.
No.
Yeah. Seeing this individual who's been there for him in his lowest in recent times, in this no longer, gargoyles and humans, I guess, have this kind of stigma and perspective on each other from the get-go, and this is, a human who's not only working alongside him. I guess Goliath just kind of had a trust issue, even though he wouldn't admit it out loud. He does, care for humans in that retrospect, but he's never perceived them on such an equilateral level of physical attraction. But this individual who's developed a deep emotional connection with him, now it being perceived from that end of things to where she's a gargoyle in the present moment, he develops the physical attraction through pretty much everything I just said.
Yeah, even the captain of the guard, who used to give him blowjobs all the time, like, Goliath never felt the same way towards him that the captain of the guard felt towards the gargoyles.
Yeah.
Well, okay, hold on. This was before the trust issues were really implemented with the gargoyles.
Oh, yeah.
That's also true.
So, I do think Goliath definitely was attracted to Elisa before, but this is the moment when he becomes consciously aware of it. That's how I've always interpreted this.
Well, I mean, that's what he said there, was that he was already romantically attracted.
Yes.
It was just the physical attraction that was formed here.
So he got a big boner in this
Goliath,
part,
due to his trauma with the humans and the I forgot what I was saying. Hold on, I totally interrupted you.
Did tempting out his loincloth distract your chain of thought?
Yeah, okay, but I think what I was going to say is, Goliath is also the kind of character who, as a coping mechanism, will try to blind himself to his own emotions. He'll chase after Demona, but not question why, even though he knows why. And it's the same instance where it's like he'll depend on Elisa for everything, but he won't exactly know why. This is the episode where he finds out that why.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's going to make her into his waifu. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that Elisa also never had any problem with being attracted to Goliath's looks.
She's always wanted to fuck him.
Oh no, yeah.
I mean,
Like,
look
it's
at him.
canon.
Come
Look at
on,
him.
come on. You're like a human, and this is like a big, strong gargoyle man with a deep emotional like core and everything, and he's so broody and masculine, and it's just like, ugh. Are you Batman? Because I might be Catwoman. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
Or you could be like the
just a
Joker and be like,
translator.
oh, you think I can't fuck him? I know I can fuck him better than you can.
Oh my god.
Satisfy him so he'd stay in at night once in a while.
That's what Xanatos is saying to Elisa.
Yes! Xanatos is the Joker in this love triangle.
Oh god.
I love it. Okay.
Okay, so anyway, so Goliath is like staring at Gargoyle Elisa, which I don't know why, because I mean, this is normal. And then
Yeah.
Elisa turns to look at him, and she smiles real wide and hugs him, and she says, Goliath, this is wonderful. You've been changed into a gargoyle. And he's like, what? And that scene ends. So back at Demona and Puck.
Like, can we just stop for a second and be like, her first reaction is that it's wonderful that he was transformed.
Yes.
Which is
'Cause
interesting.
it means they can be together now, because they're the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
species. So that is her first reaction. I feel like it's also July's first reaction, but she just like gets there before he does.
It's the mirror, you know? It's now
It's
the
the
other
mirror.
side, the shoes on the other foot. She's feeling like the sudden attraction to Goliath now that he's a gargoyle.
Yeah, baby, we're through the looking glass now.
I know, right?
So back at Demona's inner sanctum, she's like, so what did you just do? And Puck is like, the human, Elisa Maza, is no more. And Demona's all like, great, then let's do the same to every human in the city. And Puck's like, you don't know what you're asking, believe me. But all she wants to know is if it can be done. And he's like, well, yeah, but we just have to like go somewhere else to do it. We bounce back to the clock tower again. Everyone's trying to figure out like what is happening. Okay, so we're back at the clock tower again. They're trying to figure out what is happening. So July's explaining things like really slowly to Elisa. He's like, we've always been gargoyles. You are the one who's changed. And she's like, no, like, shut up. I've always been a gargoyle. And, like, we're looking at, like, Elisa's Garg Sona right now, and it looks...
We are.
It actually looks amazing.
Yeah!
Like, her outfit is, like, it's like her human outfit, but different. It has, like, a midriff now.
Mm-hmm.
She has, like, a cool jacket. She has, like, her skin color is, like, still, like...
It's
basically
tangerine.
the same. Yeah. And but there's, like, black highlights on, like, her wings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She looks great. She looks fantastic.
Yeah, she looks like a badass.
Yeah, but Goliath, he brings her out to the balcony, and he's like, okay, how did we first meet? And she's like, well, I fell off a skyscraper, and you rescued me. And he's like, if you had wings, why would you need me to rescue you? And she's like, I can't fly with these. And she's like, wait.
No, she says
Can I?
says specifically on my end of things, she can't glide with these things.
Yeah, she can't glide. Okay, we're gonna talk about gliding later.
Oh my
in the
God.
episode.
This is like the worst scene.
We're gonna talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that scene. I hate that
Oh
scene
my
so much.
god.
Okay,
In my notes, there's just a bunch of key smashing once we got to that point of the episode. Just so you know.
but like, I do think it's weird that like Puck's magic, like, it can't quite it has a lot of rough edges to it, because Elisa's already like, wait, this doesn't actually make any sense. But Goliath says, like, you can fly. And then, like, he takes off with her, like holding her, and she flies with him. Which, like, for someone who's never flown before, this seems wildly irresponsible. Just do, like, immediately. But he's doing it.
Take the chance while you got it, you know?
Take the chance, yeah. Scene shift again. We go to the top of the World Trade Center, which, yeah, that's going to be a place in this episode. So there's a flash of
Forgot
lightning.
about that.
We see the mirror appear, like, on the rooftop in a haze of smoke. Puck comes out of the mirror, followed by Demona, who's like holding the edge of his chain like a leash. And there's so much girl boss energy to her in this episode, and I just love that she's like walking Puck everywhere. But he admires the view over the city for a moment, possibly imagining the chaos he can wreak there. Or just like because he's already been here in another form, he actually does just really love the city. Take your pick. Who knows?
Yeah.
But Demona, she pulls on his leash and she's like, that's not why you're here. So he's all like, well, I got to marshal my forces, so to speak, so it may take a while. So, like, that's that scene. Back to our heroes. Goliath and Elisa are flying, and Goliath is just completely macking on her.
I know.
And, like, I love how he's hitting on her. Like, so much. He has this line where he says, like, I never realized when you were human how beautiful you are.
He's such a fucking dork, dude. I can't.
Like, he's, oh my god. And she says, you mean you thought I was ugly? And he says, oh, well, careful, updraft! And
Nice save there, buddy.
Nice, not at all awkward. Like, it's so good. And I love them.
It's great.
So she's all like, this is wonderful, like, why have I never flown before? And he's like, well, it's because you've been a human up until 5 minutes ago. And then he points down, like, the people down on the street, who, by the way, are all looking up at the two of them flying. And, like, there is no masquerade on this show. Like, Goliath has never given a shit about keeping secret. And then Elisa's, like, surprised to see humans down there, and she's like, oh no, look at them. And Goliath's just like, okay, let's land somewhere. So, like, they land on the roof. He starts to explain again, but, like, it's just, like, it's not getting through to her. Like, whatever enchantment Puck put on her seems to be keeping her from realizing, like, the truth about herself. But then, like, the other, like, gargoyles also fly down and join them. Then they all see a light from the World Trade Center, and they're all just like, oh, what? Something's over there. So the view shifts to the World Trade Center rooftop, and Puck is just spinning. He's spinning in place, magically. And he gives another example of his sweet rhymes. He says, all humans on this concrete isle, Demona finds your presence vile. So do you now, as I command, and be not woman, child, nor man. And then, like, his magical energies, like, they're amplified by the satellite dish on top of the tower, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I like how there's always, like, this fusion of magic and technology on this show that is, I've always thought that was very cool. So as that's happening, the gargoyles all start flying towards the light, except for Elisa, who gets vertigo. She's, like, not ready to fly on her own yet. And the Demona's on the rooftop. She's, like, exulting. She's ready to see her empty city. And Puck is just, like, laying on, like, the rooftop passed out, and she, like, pokes at him with her tail, but he doesn't respond.
Okay, but I have a question for all of you now.
Yeah?
Is he actually passed out, or is he just playing possum?
I feel like he's playing possum. Just later on, he tries to do the same shit, and she's like, shut the fuck up. Although he has just done, like, an incredibly, like, powerful enchantment,
Yeah.
so maybe he's not playing possum this time.
I think it could be the fact that there's a common theory when magic's implemented in a fantasy setting that, you know, magic either requires a certain amount of energy. It's not just something that you can just do at will at all times at any time.
And it always requires a sacrifice as well.
Well, that's alchemy, kind of.
Yeah, that's FMA, yo.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. But I think in this instance, like, it does require a lot of sort of, I guess, magical energy to relinquish a spell of that magnitude. So yeah, I'd say Puck is pretty worn out from all the magic.
He's a baby boy. He needs to be swaddled and
He does.
taken care of for a little while.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know where I came up with that.
I feel like he would be into that.
Yeah, he would be. But then, so Hudson, he gets his own girl boss moment, and because he tackles Demona, like, really hard, right out the gate, and I love it. But she flips him off her, and she says some, like, stock villain lines, like, "You're too late," and "You'll never catch me," or, like, some bullshit like that, while twirling her snidely whiplash mustache. And she picks up Puck, and then she does the same shit she did back to the museum, because she just picks up the mirror and just fucking throws it off the rooftop, so the other gargoyles have to go and catch the fucking mirror.
Well, only Hudson.
Remember when she did this to the book, too?
Yeah.
The Thievius Raccoonus? No, the Remora
God.
Martinorum? She always fucking does this. And then, like, Brooklyn had to catch that book. Like,
It's her go-to play.
it is her go-to play. So they all fly up to the mirror, which gives her time to get away. But Hudson catches the mirror. Hudson is, like, on the ball today.
Yeah, naturally.
Well, then Demona is flying over the city, and she looks down, and she sees that everyone below her is now a gargoyle. There are no humans. They've all been changed. And she's so fucking pissed off. But also, just, like, the sight of, like, a normal New York City street with, like, there's, like, a hot dog vendor, there's, like, all these people walking around, but they're all gargoyles, is, like, honestly, it is extremely weird looking, and I am here for it, and I love it.
Oh yeah, it's a it's a wild episode.
But, like, she's so mad, but, like, she should have read the fine print on, like, Puck doing fucking anything that she wants him to.
It's like a
so
genie.
she, like, I need you guys to also explain this next scene to me. So she goes down into the subway system, but also she, like, wraps her wings, like, around herself, and then, like, somehow she's flying without, like, using her wings, and it looks really weird.
I
So,
didn't notice that.
I actually have the Ask Greg answer on that, because someone asked Greg about that.
I think I've looked at his explanation, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yes. According to Greg,
Oh boy.
because I did send this one to you.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was, when she wrapped her wings, she actually lands for a moment and then kicks off the stairs.
But she
and propels
doesn't do
herself
that.
down.
No, that doesn't happen.
I'm aware, but that's what his answer is. Apparently it happens during the cut between scenes.
Okay,
Listen,
so this-
it's
I'm
a
gonna
magical.
count this. This isn't
it's
animation
a
fluff to
magical
me.
night. It's a magical spell. Everyone's been turned into gargoyles.
Well,
Cats are now dogs.
it's funny you mentioned that, Sid, because one of the theories is that actually, like, Puck is, like, levitating in his sleep or something, and Demona's just, like, propelling herself while holding onto him. But Greg Weisman does say that no, that's not what's happening.
Yeah, he specifically says she kicked off the stairs and that's how... and propelled herself down.
Okay, so once again, I'm just gonna say Greg Weisman is full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
If it were me, I wouldn't even answer that question.
Greg, please never listen to this podcast where I say you're full of shit. You're a wonderful creator.
We would not be here
I
without
disagree
you,
with
Greg.
you in this moment.
But yeah.
But anyway, somehow she, like, dive bombs, like, past, like, the entrance area of the subway, and then, like, the trio are following, like, behind her, and they all lose their balance somehow, like, from whatever she avoided without using her wings. Like, they don't avoid the same thing, and they all, like, fall. And Broadway in particular looks really embarrassed about that, because he just sort of, like, lays there tapping his claws on the floor. While, like, his ass is, like, definitely just, like, up, and he's, like, definitely mooning Goliath, who's behind him. I took special notice of that, and he's just like, I'm showing my ass to my clan leader again. Well, it's I guess it's Tuesday for me, because this happens all the time.
I had listed down that Broadway ends up face down, ass up, again.
Again! It's a running theme.
It
with
wouldn't
him.
be Broadway without that, you know?
No, that's why we love him.
Yeah, he's great.
Good old Broadway.
But also, during that scene, we get a very brief look at Brooklyn's cheeks when he's, like, bouncing off the...
Dude, I didn't even
Yeah.
get that one. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to take screenshots of that.
It's not a good look, but we do get a slight look at his cheeks when
guys-
he's trying to, like, recover.
We see so much gargoyle ass in this
We
episode,
see-
and I did not remember this much ass.
We see
like, I always remember, like,
Ass,
Puck.
human ass.
Oh, we
There's
see
asses
so
everywhere.
Much ass.
They show
But
off a lot of skin.
Demona lands on the subway platform, a car rolls up, and like so many gargoyles get off this car. I just love looking at the gargoyle character designs.
We were sending like just screen caps of the gargoyles back and forth.
But we get business gargoyle, mom gargoyle, punk gargoyle, like so many. Like if you have ever wanted to make a gargsona for yourself, this is the episode to look at because we get to see so many different kinds and types. And they're so good. But Demona gets on the subway, which I'm guessing this is her first time doing that. And it just zooms away, and then the Manhattan Clan is left behind. They don't even know she's left, but they're looking for her, and they're getting frustrated because like they're not used to Demona being able to blend into a crowd. So
Yeah.
but as this is happening, these three sexy ladies walk by. And the trio who are there, they all basically get hard eyes and like boners just looking at these three babes, and one of them like sort of winks at them before they just like move, like sashaying. They move on, and Lexington has this line.
Oh my
says,
god! You know what I just realized is the fact that they were. Is the fact that the gargoyles are all wearing people clothes. But the main gargoyles are not. They're showing off a lot of skin.
That's why the girls were all flirting with
them. So these three ladies, these are just like three guys who are wearing like basically nothing.
Yeah, they are checking out some man candy right there.
And Lexington has this line where he says, "It's too weird, kind of fun, but weird."
I love how they animate his eyes too, because his eyes are kind of lopsided as he says that.
It is. And like, okay, so like people have criticized this line as being like, I don't know, like queer erasure maybe, because Lexington is canonically gay. So people are like, so why is he all like happy about being checked out by ladies? But like, also,
of course he would be happy about being checked out by ladies.
He's never been the object of desire before.
No,
like,
yeah,
at least I feel like he hasn't been. So like, to me, like being a gay person myself, like it's nice to feel that validation that you are attractive, I think.
As someone who, you know, like a decade ago experienced a good amount of sexual confusion themselves, you know, considering that's where Lexington is right now in his life.
Right.
For a while, you know, when I was confused, I would try to, you know, play straight, you know, act like, I like being checked out by women and stuff. And I think that is a common occurrence for a lot of guys who are coming to terms with their sexuality.
I went through a phase in middle school where I had a, quote, crush on a female classmate just because I thought that, like, that was a thing I was supposed to do.
Yeah, I did that too.
And I did think she was pretty.
No, I did too.
Like, yeah, but I wasn't attracted to her, but I still did it anyway because that's what was expected.
There was this one girl in my math class
different, but...
that I would pull out the chair for her every time she tried to sit down.
Oh, a gentleman.
Yeah, but she wasn't interested, she told me.
She's like, I'm a feminist, I can pull out my own chair.
I mean, it's fine, because for all I know, I've probably made out with her dad at some point.
Oh my god.
Listen, it's fine. It's possible. I'm just not ruling it out.
It is. You have made out with dads. It could have been her dad. Who's to say?
Look, it's just character development. I've grown since then. But I'm just saying that's probably where Lex is right now in this particular instance. And for all we know, it could have been the same thing during the first Pack debut episode with Fox, you know, trying to like
Oh my, because he was into her flirting with him. He got the bedroom dreamy eyes around her.
He likes being the object of desire.
Yes.
And like she was also someone that he really, really looked up to.
Yeah, so, hero worship.
Yeah, that played into
it. There is also, it could be he's not even referring to, like, the wink part, but he's just referring to, like, how there's lots of gargoyles around, especially, like, female gargoyles, which he hasn't been used to, like, that being a thing for quite a while at this point. So,
I need, if they ever remake Gargoyles, God forbid, but if they ever remake like the show into a modern timeline or something like that, I feel like it should absolutely be Wolf. He could be low-key thirsting after with the Pac-Man.
Okay,
Considering
That's
he
because
is
it's you
bear
saying
hugged.
this.
I mean,
But also, yeah, Wolf did bear hug him that one time.
Wolf
Yeah.
bear hugged him, and Lexington easily dominated him in the second episode.
Oh my god, that was so hot. Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know.
How often do you think Lex had like jerked off before that fight, like imagining dominating Wolf, and he like got to actually
fuck.
do it, and it was the
If
best.
I'm anything like Lexington, I know for a fact he did. Anyways.
Okay. Where the fuck? Okay, right. I'm scrolling through my notes.
So
Goliath is all like, okay, put your boners away, because whatever Damona's up to, it's probably dangerous. So then our view shifts to Jen. Now I think we're in like an alleyway maybe, but it looks like this place is all broken up. There's like a wrecked car here, the walls look fucked up, and Damona and Puck. And the way the scene starts out is we only see Damona's like massive shadow being cast on this brick wall, and it looks like she's like a fucking demon. And then the camera goes down to her, and like I fucking love her energy at all times.
Okay, so you say she looks like a demon. My first thought was that looks like Batman.
It looked like Batman. Yes, it did. Because we always see his shadow in his own show too.
Yeah,
and we know that Gargoyles like they were all fans of the Batman show on the creative
Of course,
team.
yeah.
Of course. So she's all like just fucking like chewing Puck out. She's like, I did not tell you to fucking do that. Now change the Gargoyles back into humans. And Puck's he's all like, oh, I need to regain my energy. And she's like, shut the fuck up. You don't. Because I see that you're like doing a spell right now to keep yourself invisible from like everyone else. So like, shut the fuck up. Like she's so done with him. And he's like, okay, you got me. Like he instantly switches back to like his normal self. And he's like, fine. Then he looks into the car mirror that's right there. I guess he can just use any mirror. Or like all mirrors are connected.
He has
to each
his
other.
ways.
So like all mirrors are Titania's mirror in a way, probably, like magically speaking. And he says, don't worry, I'll do exactly what you ask. So we're back up on the rooftop. The Gargoyles, the Manhattan Gargoyles, have rejoined Elisa. They're going over what to do next. They've got the mirror, at least. And they recognize Puck before as one of Oberon's children. And then Elisa says, in Shakespeare's play, Puck was a harmless trickster. Which, like, makes me wonder what version of the play she watched that she got that impression.
Like, seriously.
Like, maybe she watched, like, the kids' WB version. I don't know. Because even in the Shakespeare play, like, Puck was doing fucked up things, like, fairly often.
Yeah.
We should say, Puck is a character that Shakespeare did not invent. He was, like, I forget, like, he is from, like, English mythology, like, well before Shakespeare's era.
Say, didn't you say 10th century AD?
I want to say 10th century at least. And also Robin Goodfellow, who is, like, one of Puck's aliases in A Midsummer Night's Dream. It was also, like, a separate other sort of fairy who got, like, composited into one when Shakespeare got his hands on him. Because Shakespeare does that. He's allowed. That's all the Puck info I really looked up. I didn't look up.
Did you say his
else.
like original name was like Puka or something?
Yeah, like I forgot. I think it's spelled Pouka or like something like that. Yeah, okay. Which was either a type of fairy or like another fairy. His name changed over the years. My favorite version of Puck, I have to say, is probably from the Sandman comics, where Puck gets to do lots of fucked up weird shit, and I love it. So if you haven't seen Sandman, or you haven't watched, if you haven't read Sandman, you should, because if you like Gargoyles, you definitely also like Sandman, because it's basically the same vibe as like all myths are true, and it's really well written. Anyway, so they're just sort of talking about that, and then Goliath is like, well, let's continue the search. And he goes to fly, and Elisa's all like, I'll never get the hang of jumping off rooftops. And Goliath is still in, like, full-on, like, Mac mode. He says, I'll always be there to catch you.
Oh my god.
It was so cute.
And then he takes off, and this is the part that we all fucking hate, because he just hangs in the air, like, hovering with his wings. And his wings can only glide. How the fuck is he doing that?
Okay, it's literally just that animation, just so when he turns into a human in the next scene, it's, like, surprising he falls. But, like, it's so silly looking at first.
I fucking hate it. And he's like, see, it's easy. I'm just like, no, Goliath, it's not easy. Because you have personally told us in the past that you weren't able to do this. But then the mirror goes haywire, like magical lightning just shoots out of it, zaps all the gargoyles, including Goliath, who suddenly turns into Conan the Barbarian.
Oh my god.
And then he falls
Wait.
to his death.
Before he falls to his death, he just hangs there for like, I think I timed it at around 3 seconds of him as a human.
It was
just hanging there in midair before he actually falls.
Listen, magic has a
Follow
sense
Looney
of
Tunes.
drama.
It might as well have just been like Wile E. Coyote. He just held up a sign like uh-oh.
Yeah, he only falls when he looks down. So as he's falling, I should also say, it's still Goliath, so, like, he shows a lot of cheek and ass.
Okay, but it's not only still Goliath, but it's Goliath without a tail.
Without a tail. So, like, you can change his form, but, like, he's still gonna be, like, a sexy himbo who with an exhibition kink. So, like, that's just who he is.
I also have to say, human Goliath is extremely fucking attractive. I mean, so is Gargoyle Goliath, that goes without saying.
But, like, this is the only time we see human Goliath, so I think, like, this has a special place in our hearts, because, like, he looks so good in this episode.
Yeah, he's not only, he's still wearing just a loincloth, but now he's just, like, this really huge, with, like, broad shoulders, almost like Jason Momoa in Game of Thrones style, just, like, very model-esque. It's just, like, really big and glorious pecs and broad shoulders, and just, like, he's fucking gorgeous, man.
He is gorgeous. It should also be said he has fairly dark skin in his human form. Which when I first assumed that because this show likes to pattern their characters like after the actors who play them, I figured they made him darker skin to like sort of match his voice actor, but that's not the case. He's the actual reason, as Hiran discovered. Would you like to tell us the reason, Hiran?
Well, okay. So we don't know the full reason.
Well, give us your version, because we all agreed we liked that version.
Okay. So I would like to start by saying, someone asked Greg, and Greg's response was a single word, Elisa, which is completely untransparent, so to speak.
Right.
Opaque. That's the word I was looking for. So my interpretation of that was that the gargoyles' human forms were based on how they saw humans.
Right.
And whereas most of the gargoyles, their default vision of a human was white because they'd been in
like Scottish people in like
Scotland
the
their whole
9th
life.
century that they were from. Yeah.
Goliath, on the other hand, his default vision of a human was that of Elisa.
It's become Elisa now. Yeah. So that's like, I like that a lot actually, and it's really cute. So yeah, I guess when he thinks of a human, Elisa's the first person to come to mind. Adorable. But it doesn't matter because he's about to die. So let's see. He's flashing his ass, his taint. I took notes on all this.
Sweet.
But then Elisa, she dives down. She rescues him, and it's almost like it's a mirror of the time Goliath rescued her.
Yeah.
But she catches him. She like digs her claws into the side of the building. She starts climbing up. And then like human Broadway and human Brooklyn like help them like get over the edge.
There's something like really attractive about just Goliath being the damsel in this scenario.
We love damsel Goliath.
We do. We really
like, no matter
have
how many times it happens, I love it every time.
I would love to. I also,
him one
before
day
we
myself.
get into this further, I want to get into the sound play of this episode. I think I talked about it earlier when we were watching it. But, you know, whenever you hear the gargoyles walking around or whenever they're animated, you hear, like, their talons clicking against concrete. Now that they're all human, we just hear, like, a bare feet skin just, like, hitting against concrete. And it makes this really weird, like, plap, 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 like, throughout
Plap,
the whole episode as they're walking
They must
around.
have tough feet, too. Wouldn't that hurt?
And-
That would hurt my feet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Maybe Puck only... He transformed all of them except for the bottom of their feet. Oh, no, because it makes different sounds.
What the hell?
So it definitely is human feet.
But their feet are also shaped like this,
When they're
remember?
gargoyles,
Just like the skin is
When they're
gargoyle skin, but it can't be,
gargoyles,
because...
they don't really have feet, they have taloned feet, and now they have
You're right.
feet.
Let's talk more about gargoyle feet.
Actually, if we're going to talk about feet, I want
Oh, Lord.
to ask
What?
Sid about something.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
When everyone gets transformed later, I happened to notice no one was wearing shoes anymore, except for Elisa.
No one was...
Like at the
they
very-
never
at the
wore
very end.
shoes.
No. I'm talking about the humans.
I did not notice that.
Oh, yeah! Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like the city and the humans and the civilians. None of them are wearing
Do you
shoes
think the
anymore.
entire city just was suddenly barefoot?
They had a shoe shortage that lasted for months after this episode.
Listen, I mean, it was
Yeah,
a
because I bet when
wild
everyone
night in the
transformed into
NYC.
gargoyles, like, they probably destroyed their shoes, just the claws just broke through.
Yeah.
I love this. Demona has committed a crime against shoes everywhere. Okay.
I
So,
mean,
okay,
it
should we
really
talk about,
speaks
like-
for itself.
So the the original 5 Manhattan gargoyles, they're all humans. Their body types are all, like, basically the same as before, only their species has changed. They're all, like, generally white guys, except for Goliath, as we already said. Biggest difference is Broadway and Lexington both have hair now. Broadway is a blonde, and he has, like... His style makes me think of just, like, some brute.
Yeah.
Like a cartoon brute has hair like
He
he
kind of
does.
reminds me of Blob.
Yeah, like
Ah!
Blob
In
from,
Evolution.
like specifically like X-Men Evolution
Yeah.
Blob. The best version of Blob.
Yes.
Of course.
And Lexington is just like a brown-haired, like, Twinkie boy. I feel like Lex got shafted in this episode.
Yeah.
Because he does not look as good as the others do. I'm sorry, Lex. I love you.
Lex looks very generic.
He looks like a snaggletooth pup in his gargoyle form, but like in his human form, he just looks like a normal-faced, like, young man.
He's just a boy.
It's like
there.
Pinocchio after he turns into a real boy kind of look, and it's kind of odd.
And not even the gay Pinocchio that we now know and love, but a different Pinocchio.
I like how Brooklyn... Okay, so Brooklyn still has the same hair, because he always has, like, the long white hair that's, like, thrown back and styled. And it
Yeah,
looks
but now
good.
it looks weird on him, because he's a human now.
I
Yeah,
guess...
but like, it kind of looks good.
It's like an 18-year-old with old man hair.
It does
is what
look
looks like
kind
to
of
me.
good, and I think to make up for the fact that all he had before was a beak, he now has just like a very long, pointy chin. Like
I did
he
not
could,
notice this
he
until
could-
you pointed it out.
he
It's
could,
so
he could poke,
long.
he can poke an eye out with his chin.
So I guess that's like how it like translates.
We haven't
over,
even
like,
gotten
a
into
beak is a
Hudson
chin.
yet, which we don't get
Hudson
enough
looks
focus.
amazing. Hudson
But
looks beautiful.
He does, he does.
So his eye is still gold colored, which is interesting.
Yes, it
Because
is.
he's blind in one eye.
Right, but I've never heard of a blind eye being gold.
Is it... Okay, listen, he got shot by a magic spell, and his eye was damaged.
Wasn't his eye just damaged by like rocks flying into it or something?
I thought it was
From
just
the spell?
From the spell.
That
Okay.
episode was confusing and what actually happened during that scene. I
Yeah.
remember that we were like, what happened here?
Listen, his blind eye is yellow though, is it not? Or is his regular... No, his blind eye is yellow, as we know.
Yeah.
So, it's like... I guess maybe it could be like a yellow cataract? I don't know. I don't know.
But I will say that without his wings blocking the view, we can see a good chunk
Oh.
of his like naked back.
Yeah, he's got
like
a very
through like the gaps in
bearish
his
back.
armor.
Yes.
Because like the bits that let his wings through, like there are no wings there anymore.
Yes.
So he looks great. He looks amazing. Just a muscular old human man with a beard.
He's still wearing the same clothes, but he's got that kind of shirt harness and the thigh huggers or whatever you call them. With
like somehow he looks even more fucky than he did before.
Now he does also have bare feet, I should mention.
They all have bare feet.
They all do, but now so does he.
Broadway still has a big dump truck ass.
Just
we got a good look at it as he's helping.
Oh yeah, no, like Gargoyle or
back over the edge
human,
of the
Broadway's
roof.
dump truck ass is not going anywhere.
No, it's not. It's there to stay. And just like I feel like we're used to seeing them as gargoyles, so like we don't necessarily realize how naked they are all the time. But like seeing them as humans, we see like again just like how
naked
they're
are.
very naked.
Yes.
At all times. And it's a lot. It's like Hudson takes down a sheet, and at first I legit thought he was going to be like, I just realized how naked we are. Let's cover ourselves with
I know.
sheets.
That's what
But he used it to cover up the mirror instead.
No,
and he's like, this will
gargoyles
stop
have
anything
no
else
shame.
from jumping out of it.
But they're not gargoyles. They're humans. They've always been humans, as they say.
Yes, okay, so, yeah, there's a short conversation where, like, they repeat the beats from before, where now, like, Goliath and everyone is like, what are you talking about, Elise? That we've always been humans. Like, you're crazy.
What are you talking
But luckily, Lexington is, like, a smart person, and he's like, but that wouldn't make any sense, because we have memories of flying, so how do we do that if we didn't have wings? And after a bit, they're like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So it's like, cool. They're on the same page for once. They all realize that Puck has, like, changed everybody around. Speaking of Puck, back on the ground, Demona's like, is it done? And Puck says yes. Then she goes to the street, and everyone is still a gargoyle. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? So she's pissed as hell, like, again. And Puck's like, oh, you meant these gargoyles. I thought you meant the other gargoyles. And she's like, I will carve out your eyeballs with a spoon. If you, like, do not fucking do what I actually tell you to for once. Like, it's so much. And she's so done with him. But, so, like, she's about to murder him, but then Puck is like, well, hold on, though. Because now Goliath is just a weak human. And he's at your mercy.
Oh my god, she's going to smash him.
And Demona gets, like, really, just, like, she's just, like, turned on. She's like, oh, So, like, that's happening. Like Puck has already, correctly identified every kink Demona has. Yeah. And now he's just using that against her. So it's beautiful. A wonderful scene. I loved it. So then we transfer back to our heroes. They're walking around on the street, and then so my notes get so confused here because I keep calling them gargoyles, even though they're not gargoyles. They're humans, but so gargoyles see them, and by gargoyles I mean humans who are now gargoyles. You know what I mean. But they start freaking out because humans, as everyone knows, are monsters and are very scary things. So they're all like running away, screaming, and the clan just sort of looks at each other like, I guess no matter what the fuck happens, we're gonna be outcasts in this goddamn world, so okay. But they just sort of ignore the screams that they're attracting, and they get down to Rockefeller Center, which we know is Rockefeller Center because we see that famous statue of Prometheus there. Not that Prometheus matters in this episode, or ever in the show, but I feel like if it had gone on, Prometheus would have factored at some point, probably. But they set up the mirror there. I think they're by the ice rink, but as soon as they unwrap it, Puck and Demona just shoot at were they waiting for the mirror to be unwrapped so they could be like, aha, here we are?
Who knows?
I don't know.
It's hard to keep track of all the things going on right
like
now.
there's so much, and also Demona has her gun.
All I noticed was how silly they all look, just like running in like the Loincloth squad, like into the fucking park.
They all run, and like they're all in a
naked.
line, and they're all mostly naked. Yeah. So Demona's like, she immediately goes into like Frank Reynolds mode, and she's like, and I just started blasting. So she's like shooting her gun at everybody.
Yes.
She shoots out this one window, which like, I swear to God,
just
happens to be a display case of medieval weapons.
I love it.
I lost it.
Okay, I was like, really, show? Okay. But Goliath, he grabs a sword and shield. He now literally is just Conan the Barbarian. And Demona, she says to him, I would know you no matter what your form, Goliath.
I recognize that ass anywhere, human or
Yes,
gargoyle.
she recognized that ass, those big pecs that, you know, she
I can
squeezed
peg you
and
no matter
scratched
what
and,
form you take.
and nibbled. Yes!
Have you ever faced an Asari commando unit? It's
No, I haven't.
a Mass Effect reference, because it's Marina.
I know, it's
Marina Sirtis who plays Liara's mom.
Oh, she does. She's so good in that game.
She is.
But while she's dealing with Goliath, the others go for Puck, and so Puck, he delivers another beautiful little ditty of his. He says, humans love a battle hearty, so does Puck. Come on, let's party. And this is the part where Puck just, like, sexually humiliates and molests all of the gargoyles.
Oh my god!
Like, I can directly trace, like,
This
good chunk of my kinks to this scene.
This is the horniest part of the episode.
So, like, yeah, okay. Let's see. So, the clan, they're all also holding medieval weapons. So, Puck, like, just takes advantage of that. So, Broadway's spear, it turns into this plant that, like, ties him up in vines sexually.
Oh my god.
And then, like, it starts, like the dandelion part of the plant, like, the flower part, starts trying to, like, eat his face. So, like, it's trying to vor him, and also, like, put him in bondage, plant bondage.
Yeah, he's all like tied up in the vines and being carried around.
It's always Broadway who gets tied up,
It's
too.
Broadway
does-
gets
yes.
tied up a lot.
But
If you
when
are
it comes to
into-
Gables or Vine.
If you are PSA, if you're into big guys being tied up a lot, just like really focus on Broadway's entire plot line in the Gargoyles show, and there you go.
Any appearance, I feel like there's a good, like, 50% chance anytime he shows up that he'll get tied up, often for no fucking reason.
Like he got tied
like
up last
that
episode
time on
too.
the fucking bridge. I still can't get over that shit.
The bridge!
Okay, so, like, he's tied up again. He's probably enjoying it. Maybe Puck has just, like, magically figured out what all their turn-ons are, and he's like, oh, this one likes bondage, so that's, like, the easiest way to deal with him.
I wonder if he even had to use magic.
He just, like, one look was all it took. He was like, oh, I know exactly what this type is. So that happens to him. Brooklyn is holding a mace, which turns into, like, I don't know, like a rocket or something, which, like, shoots him inside an umbrella, which, like, closes around him, so he, like, can't get out.
Oh my goodness.
It's weird and ridiculous, which also makes it hot, because I have a weird sexuality.
No, I get it. I get your sexuality.
No, I agree.
Like, because it being ridiculous also makes it humiliating that he's been beaten by an umbrella. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that makes it hot.
Uh-huh.
And then
It
Lexington
would
is
have been
holding...
more, as per Brooklyn's kinks, if the umbrella electrocuted him.
Electrocuted him? Yeah. Yeah, I felt like that would have been next on Puck's list if he just had, been there a little bit longer. Lexington is holding an axe, which then turns into, like, a buzzsaw that, like, just tries to straight up murder him. His is the least kinky.
Poor Lex.
And then Hudson just gets stuck to the ground with, like, sticky tar. He's, like, in a tar pit.
His
or
feet are stuck
something.
in a tar pit and he can't move.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's black glue. It's like the Venom symbiote. That's, like, just, he can't get his feet off it now. So he's stuck in place. And then the camera goes for a wide shot. So, like, we see, like, the whole group just, like, grunting and struggling and like mfing and like various perils that they're in. But then we just see Puck is like bouncing on the ground. He's just like hopping in place.
I love it. He's having so much fun.
He's having a great time. He doesn't get to molest a whole group very often these days.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's grateful for the chance to do this. Then there's a growl behind him, and he turns around and like Bronx is there.
Yeah.
When the fuck did Bronx get there?
Listen,
So
Bronx
apparently-
literally ran through Times Square once to get to
This is his
Goliath.
first appearance since like the beginning of the episode,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes, so the reason he hasn't been transformed like the others is because he wasn't with them at the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I'm not asking why he wasn't transformed. I'm asking where the fuck did he
The
come
writers
from?
obviously forgot to write in
They
Bronx's
did!
transformation the
They
last
forgot him.
minute.
No, they forgot Bronx existed, just like we
Do
usually
that
do.
all the time.
So supposedly, they went and got him in between the last scene in the current and unveiling the mirror.
Okay, well, I'm
According
glad
to
that they
Greg.
got him because he saves all their asses here. This is like one of Bronx's finest moments.
is.
And it's
So he
also
leaps that
a fine
puck.
moment because, well, I'll let you explain it.
Okay, so he's leaping at Puck, and Puck like just whirls around, and he like does the same spell he did the Gargoyles, like that turned them into humans. But on Bronx, it turns him into like this blue dodge, like this normal-looking blue dodge instead. But that doesn't help Puck at all because there's still a giant dodge jumping at him now. So he says something like, "Oh, should have made him a chihuahua," and he like has to like run away, and Bronx is like chasing him, barking. It's beautiful. So he's running around. Like he runs past the Gargoyles, who are also like in various bondage perils. Then like on the way past, he like jump kicks the plant that's holding Broadway. I don't know why, but then we get this beautiful shot of Broadway, human Broadway, in only a very small loincloth, tumbling, falling, wrapped up in this plant. His legs askew. We literally see an entire ass cheek just out in the open. Like, I know sometimes on this show we say things that aren't necessarily true just for sensationalism. I'm not making this part up. We see so much of his ass here. And then like he bounces on the ground like by Lexington, and then we see like even more of his ass
No,
like, from a different
we
view.
don't just see even more of his ass. We see his bare ass, man.
We
Like,
see his bare ass. They're, like only
that-
his
that's-
foot is in
that's
the
an
way of us
ass
like
right
seeing
there.
his balls and asshole and dick. Like we see so much, and it's good.
like when you showed me that frame, I think I just literally said, I can literally just envision just like grabbing that and with my hands because it's right there. Like it's there.
It's there. It's real. You should all go to this part of the episode and just look at this one clip. Actually, I'm gonna be gifting it later.
Yeah, you're definitely
for
gonna
our
be
Twitter
posting
anyway.
this.
And probably for YouTube, whenever I get around to actually putting our show back on YouTube, like I should have been this whole time. But I will get back to that, and you will all see. You will see, God damn it. You will see Bronx's ass. This is a
Bronx is.
Broadway, not Bronx.
I mean, that was definitely a threat.
You knew what I meant.
Oh, you
okay.
had the spirit.
So he lands by Lexington, who, by the way, is also showing, like, most of his ass as he's fighting with his axe that's trying to kill him. But then, like, Lexington is able to, like, put the buzzsaw axe, like, into the vine that's holding Broadway and, like, get it stuck in there. So, like, he's able to, like, escape it. Broadway's able to escape. They're both free. They're in the clear. Everything's great. And then, like, a second later, we see Brooklyn just, like, get out of the umbrella on his own. You know, I don't know if the umbrella was even magically holding him.
I think he
I
just.
feel like-
I think Puck just kind of forgot about him, and Brooklyn was in there for a hot minute, just trying to struggle his way out of a fucking umbrella.
Yeah, that is what I think so too. Because it isn't, like, the
That's
umbrella
what seems
isn't
to be
moving
happening.
after he gets out, I don't think.
I don't think the umbrella was magically enacted at all. It was just the thing that pushed him in there.
And they all run past Hudson and don't help him at all. And Hudson is just left being like, hey, because he's still stuck. So he's like, just like reaching with his arms, and we do get a really good view of his armpit.
We do,
in this part.
That's
if you're
important.
Into Hudson armpit.
That's important for me, and if it's important for me,
important.
then it should be important to some of our listeners.
It definitely is. I know at least a few people will definitely enjoy seeing that.
We need like a bingo of just like gargoyle kink things that happen in almost every episode. And then by the end of it, we'll say, "Yep, I got a bingo." That's all the kinks that.
Oh my god, we should. Okay, Goliath being a damsel in distress.
Yes.
Hudson showing armpit. Broadway showing ass.
Broadway not only showing
or
ass,
being put in bondage.
Those are 2 slots we can have for Broadway.
I guess like we could have one for each of the gargoyles showing ass can get their own spot on the bingo card because it happens for all of them.
Well, except Hudson.
Yeah, I mean, even Hudson every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
I'm trying to think of a time, but okay.
So we go back to the Demona and Goliath fight, which has been definitely one in favor of Demona because she's holding Goliath up by his face.
Yeah.
And she's just holding him in the air.
This made me
and
feel
she's
things.
Smooshing his cheeks together. She's in full femdom. This is probably how they used to make out. This is foreplay for them.
I really just something about just someone like human Goliath being manhandled definitely pushes a few buttons
so
in
good.
me.
And she's going, now it's time to end this farce.
Because he's such a big, strong dude. Even when he's a human, he's got glorious pecs. They're even more golden now, I think.
They are so big in this episode.
Oh god, I remember someone posted a tweet talking about the comparison with human Goliath's pecs and human Wolf's pecs, and there was this suggestion what if they just oil wrestled in their human forms, and I'm just oh my god. I'm internal horny cat noises.
So
Okay. Continue. we're gonna
give me a moment. Okay, I'm all right. So Demona's gonna kill Goliath until she's tackled by fucking everyone. And then things are going well for once. The trio hold her down. She can't get back to her feet. They got her until a bunch of gargoyles, and I mean humans who are gargoyles at the moment, see what's happening, and they're like, those monsters are attacking that woman. So they all rush down to help Demona. And
it's so funny.
The clan,
the irony.
The irony. The clan is no, stop, you don't understand. And then Demona's this incredible roll out of frame while they're distracted. And then so the trio are backing up. There's this gargoyle mob coming at them. And they're oh, we can't take them on. And until Brooklyn is well, we're monsters, right? So then they just start acting scary. Just in the first episode, do you remember when they were if you call us monsters, we'll be monsters.
The spooky woogie.
Yeah, they start waving their arms around and being grrr, and the gargoyles all freak out. They run away. They're oh. So I do think this is I don't know, a moral to be learned here. If a society insists on putting you in a box, there can be some strength you can gain from embodying that role then and being a boss of it. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I liked it.
Yeah.
But back to Demona. She's facing off against Goliath again after she already kicked his ass once, and she says, "You're no match for me as a pitiful human." And then we see in a shot that seems way more designed to show Goliath's muscles than anything else, he says, "My strength has never depended on brute force, Demona, but on true friends." And then Gargoyle Lisa comes in and just drop kicks Demona.
Hold on, she drop kicks him, and then he says, "But true friends."
Yes, you are correct. They timed it perfectly, they rehearsed it. This is their level of teamwork.
They're a power couple.
They are a power couple now. So Demona, like, sees who just attacked her. She gets so mad. She's like, you! What will it take to destroy you? You! What will it take to destroy you? And then Elisa just tells Delai, she says, run, I'll handle Demona. And then she punches her in the face.
Oh my god.
It's amazing.
It's such a badass moment.
But then Goliath, like, stays with her and he says, we'll handle her together. Like, they're so... This is why people ship them.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't already, like, you will ship them in this episode. Because they're so fucking cute, and I love it. So there's, like, another big stupid fight. Goliath and Elisa have, like, this epic team-up. Demona's fending them both off. At one point, she gets the advantage on Goliath, and, like, she tosses him up, like, into the upper level of Rockefeller Center, and, like, he smashes against the window, and then she climbs up to, like, finish him off.
Oh man,
but then,
it's just like Goliath, like in this broad muscle form, being thrown around like a rag doll, and then he's like all weak afterwards. I'm like, this is pushing buttons.
Yeah, it always does. But before Demona can reach him, a laser blast, like, brings, like, this overhang down on her, and it's fucking Elisa holding Demona's gun now, and she has, like, this ultimate girl boss moment where she, like, blows the smoke off it, and she's like, I'm so hot right now, and it's great.
It is.
Meanwhile, the puck fight gets finished by Hudson seemingly just sneaking up behind Puck and putting a trash can over his head. And that's how that fight is over. I don't know how Hudson got unstuck.
He's the trash man.
I guess it doesn't matter. He's the trash man.
He throws garbage around the ring.
So there is a reason why that worked, though.
It's because it's cast iron.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, like, apparently, according to Greg, they specifically went and found the design for, like, the cast iron trash cans that were still around New York and used that.
I love that. And as we all know, fairy are weak to iron. So, that's the thing. Okay, we're almost at the end now. So the fight's over. Next scene, we're back on a rooftop. Goliath's all like, okay, Puck, like, turn everyone back. We'll set you free if you do. And Puck agrees in the form of another rhyme. He says, first the humans I'll attend, then the gargoyles will I mend. If his efforts you commend, free Puck, let him homeward wend.
But, like, in the middle of this...
Yeah.
So after it's just the first line, he changes the...
Yeah, he's using his magic as he does
which
all
was
that.
the first line? Yeah.
First the humans I'll attend.
Right. So he changes Elisa among all the other humans back first. And Elisa and Goliath immediately, like, embrace.
Yes, and they're both humans.
And they're humans for a moment. Mm-hmm. And then Puck's like, no, and immediately zaps Goliath, forces him away, and then changes him back.
Yeah, because he goes to join the others, and they all turn back. Yeah, I do remember that happened. Like, Puck, like, he'll ship them if he's going to piss Demona off, but he's like, now he's become an anti-shipper, and he's like, no, I'm going to force you apart now. What a horrid little man.
We're going back to normal now.
Yeah, so, like, everyone who's been turned back, or everyone who's been turned into something, is turned back into what they were originally. Mm-hmm. The city is back to being a human city, and all that good stuff. Although no one has shoes, as we previously discussed. So foot fetishists are probably like going fucking nuts at this point. Mm-hmm. They probably look up footage of this. Wouldn't there be? How is there no evidence after this happens that everyone was a gargoyle for a night?
Listen.
Wouldn't there be like security cameras or something?
Well, let's put it this way.
It's magic.
It's magic. It's a Midsummer Night's Dream,
mm-hmm.
and in the end, it all fades to nothing.
It does, just like Shakespeare said it would.
I remember. It reminds me of like in the Queen of the Damned movie, which is not that great of a movie, by the way, but I like the excuse they had for like an entire like rock concert full of like a stadium of people, seeing like two vampires fly off the stage and into the night. Like they just like made the excuse like, oh yeah, someone spiked like the drinks there. Everyone was drugged. Everyone was on drugs.
It's a mass hallucination.
Yeah, something like that they came up with. And I was thinking maybe they came up with something along the same lines of that for this situation, but who's to say? It's left up in the air. And
A mass hallucination that destroyed every shoe in the city.
We were abducted by aliens. They took our shoes.
But so after this, Goliath keeps his word. He breaks apart the chains, holding Puck, very hot, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Puck, like, he flies back into the mirror, and then on the way, he grabs Demona, who was, like, also there in chains.
They
and, like,
chained
he brings
her
her through. And then the mirror, like, seemingly just, like, crumples in on itself before, like, disappears.
Everything
in, like, another
teleports away.
Yes. And so then, there's a scene that I know... we love the ending of this episode.
Oh, yeah.
We love this. Yeah. So, Puck and Demona, they're back in her sanctum, and now Puck is just, like, being fucking annoying because he won't go away. And he's talking about, like, well, like, that wasn't that a fine romp or something. He's talking about, like, what a great time he had.
I like how, as he's saying that, he's, like, hopping around, and he, like,
he's hopping on all her furniture.
On, like, a piece of furniture, and he looks like a frog for some reason, just the way he's, like, crouched down and everything. He's a wild little guy.
And she's just, like, in her throne or whatever, and she's like, you can leave now. Like, go away. And he's like, I can't go until I do something for you, because, like, I'm not a bad guest. Which, I'm assuming this is, like, one of the rules of fairy, that if someone does something nice for you, you're obligated to repay them. But Demona's like, no, really... just get the fuck out. Like, I don't... And then when she said that, like, Puck gets annoyed. So, like, this is her biggest mistake in the episode. Because I don't know what he would have done for her if she hadn't said that to him. But he delivers his longest rhyme of the episode. You wanted to be your gargoyle self by night, but not stone by day. So be it. Fearsome creature who would stay unchanged by the light of day. Remain you thus throughout the night, and be thou flesh by dawn's fair light. And she just fucking, like, growls at him to, like, just fuck off as he, like, disappears. Back at the clock tower, our gargoyles are preparing for sunrise. And Goliath is trying to tell Elisa something. And she's, like, interrupts him, and she's like, yeah, I know. You're as relieved as I am that things are back to normal. And he says, that's not what I was trying to say. And, like, but just as he's, like, saying that, she, like, puts her finger against his lips as he's turning to stone. And she says, I know, but that's how it has to be.
What?
It's like,
what is that?
But that's the way it is. And
just
it's like,
let the man say his words, though.
Like, I think she realizes after this that, like, yeah, she wants to fuck Goliath, but being with him romantically is, like, not something that she is willing to do, or, like, something that he's willing to do. Like,
it's something that needs more
the
time,
species problem is something that, like, she is more aware of now, it seems. And she is like, yeah, like, we can flirt and have fun with each other, but, like, it really can't go any deeper than that at this moment.
At this moment. Like, it's just...
At this moment.
It's something that requires time.
Yes. Like, what would her family say? Derek Maza might get a wild hair up his ass about all this.
Also, before that happens, Hudson lets out a really, like, genuinely sad line where he's like, he was talking about wanting to finally be able to see the sun as a human. He
does. I do feel so bad for them that they got to be humans, but they didn't get to see the sunset, the sunrise. Mm-hmm. But you know who does get to see the sunrise?
Demona.
So it's our final scene, and we see the sun, and then we see a mysterious silhouette.
Who is
because
she?
of course we do.
Well, I don't think the silhouette's supposed to be mysterious in the way of we don't know.
But it is hiding what she looks like
It's
now.
it's so funny.
Demona always gets to have a mysterious silhouette, though. I just
feel like this silhouette works a lot better than the last silhouette.
No, absolutely.
It's not like we don't know who she is.
Absolutely, but it's just it's funny to just go back to like when Xanatos was looking in the doorway. We could clearly see her like full design and outline, and then I tweeted it out, and I was like, "Who is she?" You know,
is she?
and people were like, over 10 people
They were like,
responded
"It's
with
Demona."
Demona. And it's like, oh really? Oh my god, that's just what it reminds me of. But yeah, we see her silhouette in the daylight. And she's going not. You're gonna talk about it because you have the notes. You do the thingies.
She's stretching now and she's saying, "I don't believe it. He actually did it, and the sun is so warm. I never dreamed it would feel this good." And then she walks in front of a mirror and she sees herself in it, her human self, and she just screams, "No!" And like we just hear the mirror shattering.
Let's point out this is Titania's mirror still that she walked in front of.
But she now has destroyed.
Just in a blind rage, just because she has to deal with the fact that she's human in the daytime now.
Or it could be funny if like it actually shattered because like it's like a cartoon and she's just so ugly that like she broke the mirror by looking at it. But that's not what happens because she's also hot.
No, she looks
She's a redhead. She's beautiful.
She's just needs to do something with her hair.
She has full like 80s hair and it's beautiful.
Oh she's
foxy. It's perfect.
She's foxy.
She's great. I love her. She could give Fox a run for her money, I feel like, in terms of
I don't know about that, but I mean, she's
I want
up
them
there.
to like wrestle with each other. I could see that happening.
Yeah, no, I could too.
But that's the end of the episode. That was the mirror.
Oh man.
A fine romp, as Puck might say.
Quite a fine romp. Yeah, definitely one of the most standout episodes in the series for several reasons. Just interesting to see the dynamic with all the characters. It's almost like a body exploration episode, a theoretical exploration, and it's like you get to explore like what people would look like as gargoyles, what the gargoyles look like as humans. It's very creative and just fun.
It is, like, it's so fun throughout. Like, everyone's bouncing off each other. Puck is amazing and, like, makes me happy every single line. Demona gets to be, like, so menacing. Like, everyone gets to be hot when they're gargoyles or humans or whatever.
Yeah, they're all pretty fuckable both ways. That's what we want.
Yeah. I love it. I love this episode. It's great. I wonder, what are we going to rate this episode? I wonder what the rating will be.
I actually don't know because you two can be pretty back and forth with my expectations of ratings.
I don't think I've been back and forth this time. I think I've been pretty clear what I think about this app.
Okay, well,
I mean, I know what my rating is.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to rate it 5 out of 5 loincloths.
Okay.
Because it is amazingly animated, great dialogue and story, great guests, a lot of ass.
Yeah,
and some good kink. Like, what else could I ask for?
What else could you ask for? That's everything that we love the show for.
Yes. I'm also giving it a 5 out of 5 loincloths for everything Haran just said.
Okay, this is a unanimous 5 out of 5. I was going to say something like, well, I was going to give it a 5, but then you guys gave it that, so I'm going to give it a 4.9, but I'm not going to do that. It's a 5. It's a perfect episode.
Yes, it is.
It's perfect.
Even the moments that, you might be a little critical about, they're just so interesting to, like, look into.
Okay, there was that part where Demona was, like, flying without her wings, and we were like, what is supposed to be happening here?
I was having so much fun with this episode, I didn't even notice that.
Perfect. Yeah. No episode is perfect. No episode can be perfect.
Perfection is completely subjective and non-existent, so it's what we say is perfect, and we say unanimously that this episode's a 5 out of 5.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are we going to discuss the kinks,
Yeah,
of
okay.
the episode.
Yeah, what? Okay, horniest moments. When were the animators?
Okay,
What
there,
time were
th-
they like, I have to put my weird kink in this episode?
there
I can't
are a
stop
lot
myself.
of kink-inducing moments in this episode. Certain characters being in chains carried around most of the episode, as well as, for me personally, I was really finding myself getting kind of thirsty over Human Goliath. I don't know what it is. Just
Yeah.
something about him, as just his broad. I liked seeing him as the damsel. Those were really moments that appealed to me. But I just think we're all unanimous on what the kinkiest scene in the episode is.
The
But
one with Puck and his magical tricks.
just yeah, I'd say that really just seals the deal.
Yeah.
Like, I do remember as a child watching this episode, I did get turned on by that episode. By that part of the episode. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, I remember feeling weird watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to point out we discussed a lot of kinks. We didn't discuss the whole one of the kinks that was in this episode, which is transformation,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like, if
which
you're-
is kink for a lot of people.
This is like one of the biggest transformation kink episodes like of all time. Because
Yeah.
there's so much of it.
yeah.
yeah. Transformation kink is really interesting. I've met a few friends along the way who have that kind of thing where they're just like fascinated by the idea of like bodily change or just like being able to morph or like get transformed into different forms of yourself. There's something I guess attractive about the idea of change to these kinds of people with those kinds of kinks, for lack of a better way of
Yes.
saying it.
I mean, I've always sort of wondered like what our world would be like if we all changed into like either like our like all of us into our personas or like, just into animal people or stuff like that. So like this episode sort of explores that
Yeah.
a little bit.
A little.
I mean, for all I know, this might be where I got the idea from. Like, what if there's a whole world of alien-looking people who like weren't human,
Ooh.
but they were all hot, of course.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So I think my vote is probably going to be for the Puck scene, just because I really, really liked it, especially the part where you see Broadway's ass, but just like Goliath in general in this episode also looked really, really hot. Like there were
Yeah.
several moments, like there were several scenes where I was like, did this need to be here, or was it just an excuse to, like draw Goliath's chest some more? Like,
Oh
why-
god, just his golden pecs, man. They're like burned into my mind.
Yeah.
They're almost traumatic in a very special way, I'd say. Just like his titillage.
his cleavage, his man cleavage.
I want to see his cleavage pressed against Wolf's cleavage. And
I'm sure it has that many
head.
times.
I want my head between both their cleavages as they do this, and I want them to grind my head into dust with their breasticles.
I hope that you get to experience that one day.
I can only dream.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have to say. I'm right there with you though, on the kink of the episode being the Broadway, because that genuinely surprised me how much we got to see.
Yeah.
Whole butt cheek just out.
Not even just just his whole ass was out, man. In those
Yeah.
frames, man.
Oh my god.
I can just
so
picture
good.
spreading that ass and just seeing his hole, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Broadway's hole right there, like in my face. And maybe, maybe I could picture burrowing my face into it like a gopher. But that's a different topic. I'm in a weird mood today. Listen, it's been a long weekend. I've worked my ass off.
Imagine Brooklyn doing that with his beak. Just like burrowing, spearing, as he were.
I'm sure that's what a majority of Brooklyn fans picture happening to themselves. I think
Just,
that's why
just eating ass. Yeah, probably.
that they like the beaks. I don't know what it is.
I like the beak too. It's a great beak.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm not so much into the extremely pointy chin, but to each their own, I say.
yeah, but I mean, I would rather mess around with Griff's beak than I would Brooklyn personally. Because those
What
are
if
the
they
two.
both, like, rub their beaks together?
Oh, like an Eskimo kiss kind of way.
Like, a beak job.
Job.
A beak job.
You mean a kiss?
Yeah. Did you have thoughts on the horniest moment, Luke?
Huh?
Hiran? Did you have thoughts on the horniest moment, Hiran?
Well, I mean, I was going to say the same thing you were, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, there's... As much as... Most of the stuff throughout the episode is just, like, not high-key horny enough.
But then that scene is high-key horny.
Like, most of the entire episode is low-key horny at all times.
Yeah.
But that scene in particular is just so high-key horny, nothing really compares.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it should be... We both have magical characters who can do that to groups of people, and I feel like one of the reasons for that is because we're both fans of Gargoyles and shit like this that we would see. So we sort of wanted to do the same thing.
Like, if I'm going to pick another scene to put up for grabs, even though we know it's not going to get picked, it's Goliath falling.
Yeah.
We do, like,
I liked that.
basically see everything
Yeah.
about him in that part.
Look, there's a few mutuals of mine that are very into muscular half-naked dudes in peril and whatnot, so I'm just saying that's very up their alley as much as it is mine.
It's beautiful. This whole episode is beautiful. But who is the gayest character in it?
Puck?
Puck.
Puck. Despite not actually exhibiting attraction to anyone.
Yeah.
But he gives off that extreme, like,
No, because Puck is
bisexual
canonically
energy.
not heterosexual, as stated by Greg himself, because most of the
Oh,
Fae
has
or
he
the
stated that?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure, like, most of the demi-folk or the Fae that, like Puck's species, mostly are. Not to mention...
it makes sense because they're immortal.
Did you
so,
or did you not look up the lore about Puck kissing Oberon? We haven't even talked about that.
Yeah, so, like, in renditions of A Midsummer Night's Dream, the play, like, it's one of the more popular choices for, like, queer... For people to queer up, basically, and, like, so Puck is, like, very commonly portrayed as, like, queer-coded, or just, like, queer himself. And there is one version of the movie, which I actually need to track down, a movie version of this, where he and Oberon kiss, and I want to see that shit, because that sounds fantastic.
I really think,
that.
in terms of LGBT rep in this episode, Puck is the real MVP. Not only transforming an entire city into TF Kinks and everything, but, like, just getting to manhandle Demona and manipulate her using her kinks, as well as being able to kinkily torture the gargoyles at one point with, like, his plants and his magical powers, enjoying it. Not only that, but his entire demeanor just exhibits someone of queer coding or, you know, worthy of that sort of queer retrospective.
And, like, Brent Spiner does such a good job, like, all his inflections and
Yes,
just, like, the way he
yes.
speaks, like, there's something about him, man. I don't know, he seems a little gay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's definitely my pick.
He seems fabulous and beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And
Like
perfect.
he's like a very dommy twink. Puck is. I feel.
Yes, he is.
He's living it up. I
But
remember.
I felt like he was okay with being led around on a leash, though, by Demona. Like, I think he was sort of into that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, to an extent.
He was not upset about it at all when he was let go.
No.
So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, well there you go.
And then he kept hanging around her afterwards. Like, I think he actually enjoyed being around her. He was like, "You're fun.
He was being serious when he said he wanted to repay her for all the fun.
You're a party animal."
He's so funny because it's like his demeanor and personality is completely aware of how gloomy Damona's is, and he plays off of that beautifully. It's just like, you're a grump and I'm a wild card.
He's the wild card!
He is!
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Puck is definitely number one, and in terms of any runner-ups, none really come to mind. Maybe Lexington
No.
having that
He-
self-question self-questionable moment about the gargoyles being or the humans being gargoyles.
Yeah, you're like, weird, but fun. I mean, Putch is the only character I put on the list. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he overshadowed everybody else.
Absolutely. Definitely the highlight boy.
Well, before we move on to emails and stuff, I did want to bring up that one character we saw. The gender non.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I totally
yeah!
forgot about that when I was going through the list. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
There was
So
one.
when
Go ahead.
so when we're in the alley with Demona and Puck after they've escaped for the first time, not the second time, we see shots of just random gargoyles walking by, and one of them is a gargoyle in a dress with a pearl necklace and a full beard, just dragging that kid along.
The gender non-binary representation.
I love it.
Like I did not even notice the beard. I've watched this episode multiple times. I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah,
It just looks like it looks like a mom just leading her child. But yeah,
as
she
soon
does have a
as
full beard.
you guys sent
I
the
went back and
screenshot
looked.
just talking about how the kid looks like a gremlin, I'm like, okay, but I'm loving the gender non-conforming parent.
Yeah,
I
noticed that
Like
too.
even looking at the screenshot, I was only looking at the kid. I didn't even look at the lady. I was like, oh, but yeah.
It's great. I love it. It just comes up when you least expect it.
Yeah, so I don't know if the team like snuck that in or just like
It was an animation error. It's
or
one of
like
the
or
two.
because maybe female gargoyles can have beards.
I
I don't know.
I feel like there are probably some gender non-conforming gargoyles out there. I mean, hell, they don't even use fucking names or labels or anything, so why should they care about sexuality or gender identity?
Exactly. I feel like they'd be extremely accepting
Oh yeah.
of that sort of thing. That's just the impression.
You know,
I
it's like when they go around telling people that they go by Hudson or Broadway now. It's like they accept that as their identity now. They're very accepting. I think I've gone on this argument multiple times, but it's not really an argument per se as much as it is a tangent. But yeah, no, I do feel like that's just how gargoyle culture is. It's more accepting than human culture in a way because they're not as societally based around labels. But yeah.
Yeah. Our own culture has a ways to go to catch up with the gargoyles.
We're on a decent roll. We just need to lower down the war and the genocide a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Please.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's talk about emails.
Okay, so
let's see.
who wants to do the reading of the emails?
We have 4 emails total.
And do we have any like other responses from other platforms or just the emails?
And there's also the Twitters. So this is a new thing that we did for this episode. We said if you don't want to email us, you can just leave a reply to our tweet as well.
I feel like
that we'd read
because I feel like a lot of people find Twitter more accessible than sending an email. Not that there's anything wrong with sending an email, but some people just don't have the time and the motivation to write up a whole page of information like Remy does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm just gonna scroll
I
down
have
here.
my tablet open with the emails right now, which, by the way, I did invest in a tablet recently.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So now it's like I have like a little computer in my hand with all my stuff on it.
Well, would you like? How about you read? We'll do the tweets last. We'll do the emails first. So do you want to read one of the emails?
Yeah, I'll read the
With your
first one
tablet?
that we got from. Their name goes by Gem. So
And the holograms.
yeah. Well, just JEM is what I'm reading, and
Cool.
they say to us. Been enjoying your podcast and have been waiting for you to get to this episode. There have been so many shows where the writers just decide to give into their most fanficky impulses and indulge in a silly but wildly fun concept, like when Star Trek Deep Space Nine, dedicated a whole episode to the cast playing a game of baseball on the holodeck. So
Okay, but I love that episode. though.
that sounds like a really good episode. Having
That's one of my favorite. Okay, it didn't have anything to do with the plot of the last season, but like the cast needed a break. I feel like.
So
I'm sorry.
Moving on. So why not do an episode where Elisa becomes a gargoyle and the clan becomes a bunch of nearly naked humans that scare a bunch of flying Talon New Yorker gargoyles because reasons. And speaking of Trek, this episode is some of the finest work of Brent Spiner's career. How could
Yes.
Wiseman not have him play Puck again after this introduction? I always wondered if Spiner channeled John Delancey's work as Q when playing Puck to get that smirky trickster vibe.
I would not be surprised at all about that. I'm sorry, Sid. You don't. I know you don't know anything about Star Trek.
I know,
but
like, little bits and
I
pieces.
agree with this person's reference, Jem. Yes, I agree with you that they may have been where they got that inspiration from.
I've heard a few things about Q, and from what I know, is that he's a very interesting character.
Q is beautiful. You'd probably like Q.
I probably would. Okay, and then they continue. The final scene is the most bittersweet, with the Rookery boys wishing they could feel the sun, not knowing that Damone is going to feel it herself. Imagine if if the show had the whole clan get hit with Damona's spell and turn into humans during the day. There would have been so much fertile ground for all the characters to develop as they explore the human culture. They could only watch from afar and build relationships with humans while trying to keep their secret identities. That is interesting. I didn't think of a possibility like that, but now that that's pointed out, it's like, wow, that there was a lot of potential building ground there, but at the same time, like, would it have been? It would have taken up a lot of the time of the show and everything.
It would have.
I don't think I would have liked it.
It would have definitely needed to be at least a two-parter for that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe for, like, as a temporary thing, I would have liked that. And then they go back to normal, like, at the end
Yeah,
of it.
we already.
I think that's what it meant.
The thing is, we
Yeah.
already have this really great setup with, like, the gargoyles trying to protect and interact with human culture as they are, so them turning into humans during the day wouldn't really give them that retrospect of, trying to accept themselves into this kind of society as more of so a way of just, like, finding a way to blend in with society. Like, a lot of people, like, let's say, who are dealing with their identities, be it sexual or gender, find themselves having to don a disguise kind of to blend in with society and everything. Am I making sense?
Yes. I think it would have been interesting. I could see potential for stories there.
Well, yeah. Okay, so they continue. The trio had the opportunity to grow up in a society where they didn't have to hide who they were taken away from them. What if they had a second chance? Plus, it would have given this podcast more honey moments, and as instead of breaking out of stone during their big, snarly, muscle-flexing awakenings at sundown, they'd be transforming back into gargoyles and ripping all their human clothes off, winky face. Okay, I think I see what they're saying.
I don't hate that image. No. It'd be like they were, like, hulked out every episode, and all their clothes would be, like, ripped and torn.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't hate that.
There's
That's good.
definitely some interesting... There's some building ground there, we'll say that much. And then they leave off the email with, looking forward to more episodes and thanks for introducing me to the Night on the Galactic Railroad from Jem.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, about every 2 or 3 weeks, we watch a movie and in our Discord channel. That anyone can join, and the link is usually on our Twitters.
Yes,
for
it
the
is.
Loincloth Hour, and yeah, one of our recent movies is Night on the Galactic Railroad, which is very interesting and cool. I actually really liked that movie. Depressing as hell, but, like, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same regard. I don't like experiencing sad things. And if I do, I prefer experiencing them on my own. I mean, I guess having people around you watching the sad things with you makes it a lot fucking easier, but it's like at the same time, I'm not one to let that kind of emotion out in the public eye, so it's like if I'm feeling sad because of something I'm watching, I don't want people to see it. That's just how I am, though.
It's okay. I like to cry on people and, like, dribble tears onto their skin.
The absorption factor, yes. Okay, so next email is from Vinny, aka Vinstor.
Oh, Vin has written to us before, many times, actually.
Yeah, they've become quite a local around the Loincloth Hour parts, They say, it's time. Hopefully I sent it in on time. Hello again. The day has finally arrived to talk about episode 5. I was smiling the whole time while watching this episode. It's just the best. I do like Demona in this one. Her plan to get the mirror is smart, and her role as the straight man to Puck's chaos made her more enjoyable to watch. Speaking of Puck, the light of my life, genuinely
Speaking of Cock...
God damn it,
Sorry.
don't listen! Okay, I'm taking a good swig of Coke before I continue just because of that line. Fucking... Speaking of Cuck, my god.
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt the email. There was some hesitation in naming Puck in the show. Like, they originally thinking of naming him Robin Goodfellow instead, because they were afraid that Puck's name sounded too similar to fuck.
Oh.
So they actually made sure while recording to always very clearly enunciate the P
Puck.
part of Puck. For that reason.
Yeah. Well, that makes it easier to you to poop them into saying fuck, so thank you. Thank you,
It's
Gargoyles crew. Speaking of Puck, the light of my life, genuinely my favorite character. His quips, personality, and just general demeanor are an absolute treat. Every line from him was a winner. Demona using his magic to basically do a species of swap to the entire world was super funny, and uh-oh, Girly is jealous of Elisa. But can we talk about how they did Lex and Brooklyn dirty? Lexington looks like such a nerd when I look at him. I just want to shove him into a locker. Oh no!
Okay, he'd probably be into that. I mean, he might be.
Yeah. If I were Lexington, I would find some way to get into that.
I feel like he's convinced Broadway to do, like, bully nerd role plays with him, and, like, he's made Broadway, like, shove him into lockers before. That's...
And Brooklyn,
That's my
baby,
impression.
what have they done to you? Like, he's fine, I guess, but there was, like, one specific shot where he looked really bad. The rest...
Maybe when he had the giant chin.
He has the giant chin in his human form the entire time. He's like the Crimson Chin, but, like, as a gargoyle.
I somehow never noticed it. Probably because I never looked at Brooklyn, if I can avoid it.
The rest of the clan humans are great. Goliath is a hottie no matter what form he's in. Yes, thank you. Now, I'm curious just because in that scene in the subway where the 3 gargoyle girls pass by, let me tell you, I was studying Lex under a microscope. I was just like, come on, gay boy, what you gonna say? It made me wonder when the decision to make Lex gay came to be, because I doubt it was there from the start. I know for a fact that it definitely was not their original intention, but as the character developed, I think it was just something they realized was a factor about him over time. That's just how the character came to be. It was never a conscious decision to make him gay. It's just like...
That's... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's how it seems to me as well. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. Okay, and the email continues, and Puck's parting gift to Demona will be interesting to explore in the future. Although, like, when does she sleep? Because now she's a human during the day and gargoyle by night, so her resting period is basically gone. Well, the thing is, she doesn't sleep now because, you know, she needs more reasons to fucking go insane.
I believe word of Greg has been that, like, Puck's spell made it so she doesn't need to sleep or something.
That would drive anyone
crazy
insane.
Yeah, I feel like she's already crazy enough, but now, like, never sleeping, I don't know.
Yeah. She's got that...
I believe he has commented on that.
She's got that Skyrim perk where it's like, when you're a werewolf, you can never, like, get the well-rested perk because of it. That's an attribute in Skyrim for some reason. So that's what it's making me think of. So he finishes off the email with, alrighty, that's it from me. God, what a good episode. Like, this is a 5 out of 5 episode for sure. Take care, you two, and see you in the Matt Bluestone episode!
No!
It's my favorite Matt Bluestone episode.
Oh my god, you can cover that one then. I think I said the same thing
You
last
said the
episode.
same thing last episode, yes.
I am predictable.
So,
thank you, Finn.
Thank you very much for that kind email, Vin,
God.
and reminding Croup that the next episode is one of the bad ones.
Well, at least we all agree this is a 5 out of 5 Loincloth episode. Everyone agrees.
What, the next one?
No, the mirror.
Oh, well, yeah.
The next one this will be my first one Loincloth episode. I don't even remember.
I think you might already have one.
I'm sure it's a fine episode. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay, so... And then, next up, I forget. Is this?
Oh, it's our boy Remy.
It's our boy Remy. Yes, absolutely. And
Actually, I recall him saying, I believe in our Discord, that he tried to keep this email short, but looking it over, this doesn't seem like a short email, Remy.
no, that was Vinny who said that.
Oh, did he? Oh, I'm
Remy
sorry.
definitely messaged me and said that he tried to keep it short but was unable to.
Yeah, I mean, how can you when it's the mirror?
So,
Yeah.
let me take a good swig of my drink before I get into this, because I know my mouth's already running a bit
Okay.
dry.
Would you like to switch off with Hiran, maybe? He can read one?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Alright. Hello again, Loincloth Hour crew. What a good episode that last one was. It's always great when Huron joins you guys there.
Aww, you got to read that!
Aw.
That's so cool.
The episode was great overall. I really liked all the humorous bits and all the detail that went into everything. From the relationship that Hudson and Robbins established starting here, to Macbeth and his flunkies, to Owen handing out vast amounts of sass, and the annoying archaeologists who ignore actual magic.
Oh my god, like...
We didn't like them.
I was entertained from start to finish. Funny too that you guys mentioned Indiana Jones, considering that Macbeth's voice actor was in both Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
Yes.
And, as per the Gargoyles wiki, Macbeth has only that one castle. He had to do reconstruction of it right after entering Macbeth.
Yes!
Plus
So it's been destroyed twice?
Oh, the finances he's got to pull, man. The insurance must be, like, fucking roasting his ass. Like, stop getting attacked by gargoyles.
plus, it being the only castle he has in New York explains how Goliath knew where to find Macbeth at the captive Broadway.
But then Hudson didn't know where to find Macbeth. He had to look it up in the phone book.
Well, actually, Robbins looked
Well,
it up
Hudson
for him.
apparently Hudson wasn't
Hudson
there.
had never
during-
gone there, that's right.
Yeah.
So I guess they never were like, oh, by the way,
Well, he
this
probably
is where
was.
Macbeth's castle.
He was probably told, but like he never leaves the clock tower. Like he
Yeah.
would know how to get there.
That makes sense. He's a cloistered old man.
All right.
He's
and
retired.
and my comment regarding ants looking like a dude sometimes. I meant that sometimes her lips disappeared in some scenes, and that drastically changed her look.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
I thought she did look extremely butch. So.
Well, yeah, she's androgynous, and we love that about her, but at the same time, yeah, her lips disappearing was kind of weird.
Yeah. And now we have the mirror. Holy crap, what an episode. So much going on, not the least of which is Puck, who I love with his rhymes, his sass, his snark, and how much he trolls Demona by twisting her every command and wish. I'll do things differently this time and just make a list of standout moments for me. Otherwise, my email will take up about half your whole episode.
Thank you for considering that, Remy. You're amazing. We love you.
You're the best.
Alright, here we go. Rapid fire. Lisa looks good with her hair tied back and wearing glasses, but then her reflection in the mirror stays in place after she looks away. So cool. Oberon sent me. Nice foreshadowing. Really would have liked to see how Demona has put her riches to use over time, such as how she bought and keeps this goddamn mansion. The spell summon Puck says Titania Penitare at the end. Isn't that super lewd?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we discussed that. Third race, finally introduced. Pansexual sluts, all of them. Nice to have
God.
such lewdness on the show.
Hell yes.
Love Hudson's line, as real as I am, if the stories be true. With that little smile that totally says, honey, you're talking to a living gargoyle.
I love it.
Even Bronx is like, what the actual fuck at Lisa's transformation.
He was.
Goliath teaching Elisa to glide while now full on smitten with her was so damn cute.
It was.
So cute.
It was very
I
cute.
loved it.
How the hell did Demona wrap her wings around her and Puck and managed to glide smoothly while going underground while the trio instantly fell flat with no air currents down there?
Listen, you
This
guys.
is the question.
You guys can drive yourselves insane with the science and the physics of the gargoyles' flight patterns. I'm just gonna be off to the side enjoying the episode and not questioning it, okay?
Like, it wouldn't be a big deal if Greg would just be honest and say, oh, it was like an animation flub or something. You know, like, that's all he needs to say. That's
It's
all
fine.
he needs to say.
Love the parallels on how this time it was Elisa having to glide down to save Goliath from falling to his death.
Oh, you skipped one.
Oops, sorry.
You're
the
fine.
three girls the trio got at. Probably the hottest female gargoyles in the whole show. Love their designs.
They were pretty hot.
Love the parallels on how... Goliath and Hudson's human forms are fine, but holy shit, the trio's human forms are so ugly. Lex looks like he's been stuck between childhood and adulthood. Brooklyn's face is like 3 feet long from head to chin, and can stab himself to chin.
Exactly what I said.
And Broadway and his stupid haircut looks like Rocksteady's normal human form from the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Okay,
but
but
that makes
Rocksteady is
him
also
hot.
one of my first crushes, so that's probably why I think he's hot looking.
That makes him hotter, I guess, because, you know, Rocksteady is hot regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Demona says she'd recognize Goliath no matter his form, and I'm sure he's wearing nothing but a loincloth when the human form had nothing to do with it.
She acted like it was such a big deal that she recognized him.
Park's ultimate trolling wasn't what he did to Demona at the end, which was the absolute most fantastic way to end the episode. No, his ultimate troll moment was when Elisa turned back into a human, and she and human Goliath were about to have a romantic moment, and he cut it off before it could even begin to happen.
There was also the thing he said about Bronx that you just skipped. He says Bronx came out of nowhere. Wonder how long he had been tracking the clan, but hey, at least his dog form is adorable.
I love his dog form. It's really cute.
Yeah.
And then there's just one more.
Yep. You can feel the disappointment in the clan about not being able to see the sun, and you especially see the very different kind of disappointment in Goliath and Elisa. And I can definitely see how this episode that cemented the genuine start of their romance, even if it was an awkward one, which only makes this episode all the more important and significant in the franchise as a whole, beyond just the introduction of Puck, the third race, and Demona's curse of turning into a human by day.
This episode covered a lot.
It did.
And boy, have I rambled on. I'll forego the timeline from this email and just leave you with a final thought. Am I the only one who thinks of the wasted potential in this episode? By that, I mean the characters we've gotten to know may have possibly been somewhere in the city during this episode, but we didn't get to see, and how they would have looked as gargoyles. Imagine gargoyle versions of Xanatos, Fox, Macbeth, or the Pack, especially Rick.
Oh no. What have you done, Remy?
Oh,
no. Look at Sid is reacting. Oh no. No.
And with that...
Okay, but Gargoyle Dingo, though. Oh no. Gargoyle Matt Bluestone. Ew.
Oh god. Oh my god! Dude, I just pictured it! It's disgusting!
Just bland bread. As
Just
a
like his
gargoyle.
face stretches out into this weird fucking like stork beak. And he's just like, glass human skin still.
No.
It's fine.
And with that, I bid farewell for now. Take care and keep being awesome.
Thank you, Remy.
Okay.
You
Thank you
as
so much,
well.
Remy. You know what, human, I really want to see as a gargoyle is that group of thugs who accosted. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you?
do.
The one with the chain.
Yeah.
Who was oh my god, who are they? Brian and Mardo? No, Brendan and Mardo.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Listen,
Like the hot
if,
day ones.
if Gargoyles were like had a 40-minute runtime like an HBO show or some shit, we would get to see plenty of that. But unfortunately, they have to squeeze all this in like 22 minutes.
And they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, but we have our own headcanons now.
Alright. And one last email here, and it's a short one.
A short one.
It's from Matza. 2 questions about this episode. Do you feel like the part where everyone became a gargoyle should have been expanded more, giving the gargoyles a fresh taste of society before hunting down Demona and the Mirror?
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, they had
Like
to
we were
squeeze in the
just
runtime.
saying, yeah, if we have more than 22 minutes, then I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if at some point in the episode they could have played with that more, and I would have probably enjoyed that. So yes, we do feel that should have happened, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Second question. Which human form do you think was better, Goliath or Bronx, and why is it Bronx?
I do really like Bronx's dog form. It's
Yeah,
adorable.
it is cute. It is cute. I think Goliath looks the best, though, personally.
Goliath
I mean,
is
obviously, they're going to put
sorry.
most effort into the lead.
Yeah.
And also added, God, I just realized the Gargoyles were technically nude given everyone else were wearing clothes.
Yeah.
That is something I figured out halfway through recording this. When we were talking about the girls in the subway, checking them out, I'm like, oh my god, it's because they're wearing nothing but loincloths and all the gargoyles are wearing people clothes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about this episode, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. Okay. So I think that's it for emails. You said we have a few Twitter responses. I don't have those pulled up at the moment.
There are a few twitses, so let's see. Christopher Lewis tells us this is one of my favorite episodes. I loved seeing Goliath as a human. He looked so hot, and he included many screen caps of Goliath as a human, and he does indeed look very hot. So yes, thank you for that, Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Jem, who also emailed us, say, if only there was a timeline where all the gargoyles put the transformation magic Puck put on Demona. But okay, but if all the gargoyles got the same spell that Demona did, then we get more Goliath Elisa cuteness, and all the guards awakening scene at sunset would be them roaring, ripping out of their human clothes. Yes, as we've already said, that would be nice. Agreed.
Just a lot of possibility. I mean, hell, if you have creative ambition and some free time, you can type these scenarios out yourself in the form of, fan fiction. I'm sure, the creators are very invested into that kind of thing.
I mean, I'm half tempted to write a fan fiction where Puck, enchants Wolf with a gargoyle curse.
Oh
just to,
my
drive
god.
you insane.
Oh, you know what I just pictured? Oh my god, what if, okay, so...
Where Wolf transforms into a gargoyle that working through all his clothes? Is that what you're picturing?
No, not necessarily that, just that. But, that thing where it's, Demona's, trying to figure out what she truly wants, and Puck, projects, an image
And
of
it's
Goliath.
Wolf.
And it's Wolf, but it's still Goliath just there, and Puck's just god damn it, is every single character in this fucking show simping for this one guy?
No, what if he showed her a vision of Goliath and Wolf, pushing their pecs against each other?
No, that's just my dream. That's mine.
I know, okay. I'm saying, what if you were Demona suddenly?
Okay, if I were
And
Demona...
Puck is helping you.
I'm okay, yeah, I'm into that.
I feel like if you were any character in this show, Puck is one of the characters who you might be.
Yeah, I would
Sid.
definitely. I resonate heavily with Puck's energy. He's very, very, chaotic neutral. Very, just a energetic little pixie man, much like my IRL self. So.
Speaking of Puck, I just remembered another way that he was trolling in this episode.
Oh, really?
So, as we all know, Demona's transformation back and forth is super painful, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But not this time. She didn't even notice it happened. Which means he very purposely made her not hurt the very first time, so she'd be shocked.
So she looked in the mirror.
And then added the pain for every subsequent time, just to mess with her.
Oh my god. Puck, you dastardly little scoundrel.
He's a wastrel, that one.
Alrighty, so, do we have any final comments or regards regarding the mirror?
I do have a few more tweets. I'll just read them out really quick.
Okay.
Aqua Raccoon tells us, how do I explain this episode? It was really hot, especially the human Goliath and Hudson parts, which, yes, I agree.
Yeah, we've got that.
Sidian tells us they were all pretty hot as humans, but Hudson was clearly the hottest, just like he's the hottest gargoyle. If only they ever found a way to get him nearly naked like the others. Yes. We would all appreciate that.
I still think Hudson's gargoyle form is hotter than his human form, personally. I feel like, I don't know.
No matter what.
There could be, some more detail on his human form, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just, when he's a gargoyle, he's hotter to me.
Well, as a human, he always reminds me of Iroh, so...
Okay,
when
now he's...
Iroh got really buff in prison, working out.
Even before then, Iroh was not bad looking. But yeah, that is very, very, very good comparison.
I think Hudson and Iroh would make fantastic lovers.
I've seen fan art of them together.
See, okay, we've done Macbeth and Magneto. Now we have Iroh and Hudson.
We've come full
Wait,
circle.
you've seen fan art of them together?
It took that long for the penny to drop.
I was like, I can't believe you just rolled over that. I was waiting for an opportunity to ask.
No, there is definitely. I forget who the artist is, but there's fan art of them naked in a hot tub together, and it's just like it's actually very wholesome.
That sounds really good.
It's very wholesome dialogue between those two, but it's like there's also this offhanded like jokes that are kind of like kinky, where like Hudson is talking about like having some of Iroh's hot tea and loving to get it into his belly.
Oh my god!
And I'm just like, okay, I see what you did there.
Old man.
Yeah. Y'all are old, but you still got game.
Okay, so as we were talking, Hiran just like got it.
Yeah, I found it.
Perfect.
Did you hear something, Hudson? I hear that sneaky badger is around here somewhere. He will not take my pants without a fight. Iroh, relax. That badger's nowhere near here. And even if he was, there's no way he'd be able to get both their pants. Why would keep him... If he can get one of your pants, why can't he get both of them? Just sit back down and enjoy the springs.
I don't even know if this is the one that you were talking about.
No, there's
another
page.
one too.
There's another
okay,
page.
so this artist has done numerous fan art of this pairing, and I love it. Okay, I'm assuming the badger is like the artist's persona or something.
What is the artist's name? Could you care to share it for the podcast, please?
Okay, this is good art too.
Bruce Badger.
Yeah, so Bruce Badger has a 2-part series.
Or maybe more.
Iroh and Hudson, or possibly more, I don't know.
It says to be continued, so there's probably more.
He draws them both really cute.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He does. It's very good. Very good content. I'm glad I got to introduce that to you guys today.
I think the most, like, out there pairing I've ever seen for Hudson was I saw one fan art of him and Quasimodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I actually really like that.
Star Rainer actually made that, who does the Daily Double series, and he
has a whole series of craft pairings.
I love his content. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just very good. And that is very, very sweet art that you just mentioned. I like that too.
It was like Quasimodo was like running away with him, and like Quasimodo was gonna like become a gargoyle somehow with like a spell that they found, and he was gonna like join the clan and find like family and like community, and I was like, oh, it's what he's always wanted. It was so nice. Anyway, if you have drawn awesome gargoyle fan art, you should show it to us, and we'll talk about it randomly on an episode of the podcast. Maybe even next episode. I know we have several artists who do follow us and who have drawn our some of the more interesting things that we've discussed on our shows.
I'm thinking about just all Spiffy stuff right now. That's
yes,
the first
I was
person
thinking of Spiffy.
who came to mind, and I love him. He's great. If
we still need to get that one framed of like them all clutching like birds.
Oh my god!
or the one with Owen like showing Xanatos was holding out like the cross,
and like Owen's like gagging like up a bunch of.
Okay. There's one more tweet. Okay. Donk says, I feel like all the zany things in this episode I have to comment on will be well covered in the episode anyway, so I'll just say it's a lot of fun to listen to while working, and I appreciate you sharing. So, thank you, Donk,
thank
for
you
comments.
Very much. Thank you.
I like getting comments.
Oh
yeah, I think this is the best part of the show.
Oh yeah, I think this is the episode where we've gotten the most responses, if anything.
Yeah, we got like 4 emails and all these tweets.
I know.
Yeah. I guess it's the mirror. I feel like next episode there'll be like nothing because no one fucking cares about the silver fountain or whatever the fuck we're even gonna do next.
I still think that's like the best Keystone episode.
Well, you should send us an email saying so and pretend you're someone else so we don't know it's you. We'll read it out on the air.
There you go.
Or just send it as yourself.
I'm probably gonna send it as myself. I'll be honest.
And what if you read your own email and then answered your own question? Would that be wild?
That would be crazy.
You know, we've done a lot of crazy things on this podcast.
That would be sheer nonsense.
We're a nonsensical sort.
What a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad we got to do this one. Every episode after this will be like a step down from the perfection of the mirror.
I'm looking forward to Vows, though.
Oh, that's another one
That's
of
a
my
good
all-time
one.
favorites.
Yeah,
I fucking
we
love
still
that
have
so much.
We still have some good ones coming our way.
And that's coming up really soon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that like...
I think
Is that before or after City of Stone?
I think it's before. It's like the one right before
Okay.
City of Stone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
episode 9 or 10, I want to say, of season 2. And this is
Yeah, oh my
episode
God.
5 that we just covered, so we're almost there.
Like, when I rewatch my favorite episodes, like, I usually do The Mirror and then Vows. And then, like, if
Yeah.
I have time, I would do, like, City of Stone. But that's, like, that's more of a time commitment.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's still good content to look forward to. Even when,
There's so much.
you know, it's always darkest before the dawn.
That's true.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Why are you just giving random generic phrases at me?
You know, there's always more fish in the sea. That's what they say.
No!
Okay. So, I think we've just about covered it, boys.
I think so too, boy.
Alright, so, to send off, I'll start with the outros. I'm Sydney, aka Sid Scripts on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter and see me tweet about my ventures in the creative world, as well as just retweet a bunch of NSFW and SFW art as well. Just a bunch of, you know, galloping good old tweets. I'm flunking out of it today. That's all I have to
art,
say. Yeah,
Thinks you post it all.
I do. I really, really do. That's all. That's it. I'm done.
And I am Spankicorn on Twitter. I'm Croup on Fur Affinity. I'm Manicorn on Patreon. I'm Manicorn on Archive of Our Own. And I'm Manicorn on mailspank.net. You can follow me in any of those places and have a jolly good time. A romp, if you will. And you should do so. Especially if you like kinky, sexy spank stories about big, burly men, you know, smacking each other on the ass.
Yeah.
How about you, Hiran?
Hi, I'm Huron. You can find me at Pangolin_Huron on Twitter or Archive of Our Own, I think. I changed my name there, maybe. No, wait, no, I couldn't. It's still 13333 there. Which is also where you can find me for Affinity. 13333.
That's 4 3s.
Yeah. I'm probably elsewhere, but I don't remember any of them, so that's good enough.
Those are the important places.
But yes, I also write stories about big burly men, typically.
Yes. Spanking each other,
Sometimes
enchanting
small
each other,
burly men.
teasing each other, stripping each other, embarrassing each other, all of that stuff.
Nice.
And there's also the Loincloth Discord, which you can follow, or join, rather, which we usually have the link to in our Twitter, which is also the Loincloth Hour. So yes, follow us everywhere. Like I said before, we do regular, like, movie nights on our Discord. We watch, like, you know, random, funny, cool, arty stuff. The full Damot. Damn it? I don't know how to pronounce that word. But yeah, just hop in and join the fun. That was my spiel. Sid, hello.
Yeah, that's a flute I was just trying to play, but I don't know how to play the flute very well, so I was just kind of like blowing into it rhythmically.
Was it a pan flute?
No, I don't own a pan flute. I just own like a flute.
But you don't know how to play it? Why were you playing the flute?
It's a musical outro, dude.
Okay, do a song. Go. Go. Woo! Play it! Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
Dude, I got a
Okay,
little
that's
something.
the end of our show now.
That's it.
We're done now.
I'm lightheaded from blowing in.